And welcome to Graham Road at Aspley for the Aspley Hornets at home to the Southport Sharks for NEFL TV round 15. Michael Price with you and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. And Kanga, this is going to be a cracking game. First versus fifth on the NEFL ladder.
Yeah, it is going to be a cracker. I think Southport bring wonderful form into this game, while Aspley have been a bit checkered up and down. But I know there's a little bit of talk around Aspley that they, after a week off, have got their pile of stuff together to really give Southport a game on Aspley's home deck, of course, which I might add looks absolutely pristine this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. You could eat your dinner off it here at Graham Road at Aspley. Perfect day for football. A temperature in the low 20s after a pretty brisk evening here, 6 or 7 degrees overnight in Brisbane. Having a look at your umpires today, Andrew Adair, Brett Ritchie and Sam Ward, just had the toss of the coin, and Aspley's captain Ben Warren won the toss. Which way is he kicking, Kanga?
Yeah, the two opposing number fives, Ben Warren and Andrew Boston. It was won by the home side of Ben Warren. They are going to kick to the northern end or the left-hand side of the screen that you are viewing here with us this afternoon.
So last week, of course, a cracking game of NEFL football where the Southport Sharks got home by 2 points over the Brisbane Lions of Fankauer's reserve. They held on a magnificent finish, Kanga. Aspley had the bye, so as you've said, Southport have had a tough couple of weeks. First Darwin, and then coming back against the Brisbane Lions, playing against 17 listed AFL players on a wet deck. Will it slow them down this week?
Well, you view it possibly the other way, that they're match hardened, aren't they? They're really cherry ripe at the moment, and they've been really taking on all comers in the way things have been going. So for me, I'm really interested in the matchup in the middle of the ground. Boston and Clayton against Swallow and Payne, who I think are amongst the top handful of midfielders in the NEFL.
Of course, for Southport, out. Seb Tape, unavailable. Josh Hall got injured late last week. He's got a bit of concussion. In Wade Hancock and Sean Watson. For Aspley, we've got Gowers, Nellis back in, Jasper Craven, Joshua Prevel and Daniel Henderson. But we'll get things started. Umpire Brett Ritchie in the middle, and this is the voice of Mark Kanga Kennedy to get you underway for NEFL TV.
And that's a beautiful bounce in the middle of Graham Road. Give that one to Spencer. Coming off the wing there was Manteet early. Ryan Davis gets around one and kicks the ball to inside forward 50. Mitchell Johnson just hits it. Matthew Payne pushes back in defence. A little bit of a criticism of his game sometimes. He doesn't push back hard enough. Gets it off to Warren and now off to Batchelor. So at half back, it's the Tasmanian, Brandon Batchelor. He'll try and traverse Graham Road early. A little bit of a dicey kick, but it will find Gavin Gross on the bounce. It goes wider again. Jack Stanley with the ball. That is a shocking kick, and we'll turn it over. And that's Andrew Boston with the ball. They'll take it forward. Baxter. And they'll bring it inside forward 50. One-on-one contest. Johnson works his man off the ball, then tries to run back on it. Keeps it in. And the ball tied up underneath plenty. And it goes through for a point. It's just rushed through.
Yeah, once again, ground level Mitch Johnson, very dangerous. As soon as the ball hits the deck, he's a stocky little fella. He's only 180 centimetres, but 36 goals for the year. Has made himself a focal point. Now playing on, it's a long kick. Allen goes straight to a contest. That's a good, strong mark taken there by Mitch. Got the wrong player there.
Charlesworth
it was over to Ruse. Ruse inside 50, and again, Aspley of just steadying it down. Nice mark taken there by Stanley. He brings it across now to half-back. Good corralling there from Noah Corbett. Dodgy-looking kick there. Davis goes in. Corbett again for Southport. Got the handball away. Now Aspley steal the ball back off them. It's Toy. Toy goes to a 2-on-1. There was a good contest there from Preval to bring the ball to ground, but Southport will get through. Charlesworth in trouble, holding the agate. Aspley playing on. Giles, inside 50, finds his target in Freeman. And it was just a good bit of pressure. Good tackling that loosed the ball there, Kanga.
Well, Charlesworth just tried to come back inside when the percentages said he needed to come to the boundary line, then got caught holding the ball, and then Aspley were good enough to play on quickly, get the advantage. It was always easy pickings for John O'Freeman.
How do you see the wind here? We see the flags on the...
Well, you'd think you'd have to start at the left-hand goalpost, wouldn't you, to bring it back in? The breeze isn't horrendous by the same token.
Freeman starts the ball right and it goes even further. So you're probably right, Kanga. Aim it at the left goal post. There's 24 goals, 14 for the year for Jono Freeman. It brings the scores to level. 1 point apiece after 3 minutes of the first term.
So Ryan Davis to bring the ball back in. Elects to go short. Finds Tyler Roos. Racking up a pretty fair season is Tyler Roos. Father Paul in attendance today as well, I noticed. Gives it back to Davis. Davis scoots around, plays on, gets the ball. Jed Turner's got the sit, but in front there was Jackson Allen. Aspley had the ball. Good tackle there by Clements on Warren. He was looking to put the big step on, but Clements got there before he got his foot to the ground.
That is the trademark of Southport over the last several weeks, is their tackling pressure, Kanga. They really give it to their opposition. There was Spencer, tapped it down to Warren once again under a lot of pressure from Corbett. He loses the ball. Now Swallow, can he control it? No, he doesn't. It actually went through the legs, picked up by Arnold. He immediately tackled. Clements tripped over his own laces. Ball still in dispute. Allen toes it forward, and the big fella in Spencer gets down. Handball to Swallow on the run. Belted as he kicks it long, and well read there. Good defensive work again by Jordan Taylor. He had a cracking game against the Brisbane Lions last week.
We've got it to Murdoch. Murdoch down the line. Finds Fife. The Tasmanians in this game this afternoon. Fife goes down the line. Finds Tyler Roos right on the outer wing. There's one short in Turner. Decides not to look at him. Instead, he just loads it up long. But Spencer pushes back there, and on the second effort, just takes an uncontested mark. Quick handball off. Jackson Allen, generally good by foot, goes long. And yeah, put the mocker on me. Kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Just having a look in back play, Kanga, the dreadlocked destroyer in Lee Dale, who has been running around tagging some very good footballers, running around with the accumulator in Matthew Payne at the moment, so a big matchup.
He'll make life very hard for him. Jordan Taylor with the ball now. Spent a number of weeks out injured in the first part of the season. Loads up on the left. 1-on-1 contest. Turner just outpointed there with a spoil from the big fellow in Spencer. Spencer goes again through some arms of Aspley players. Fife, he's just taken off the ball. Umpire says play on. And now it's tied up. So the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Exactly what we expected here at Graham Road. Beautiful day for footy. Only 1 point apiece after 5.5 minutes of the first term. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. Spencer tapping it down for Aspley. Gee, you could throw a T-towel over 20 of them. There's plenty of players in and around the ball. It goes over the boundary line. As putting himself in was Henry Joyce. We'll get another throw in, left forward pocket.
Well, it's not a big oval, Aspley, here at Graham Road. So, it lends itself to a lot of congestion. But mind you, it's helped by the fact that every player's inside the forward half of the ground.
Certainly does. Turner slapped it down to Fife, then roved it himself. Big Jed Turner got it onto the boot and just missed. Second behind for Southport. 2 Aspley 1.
Had a little bit more time in the end, didn't he, Jed Turner? I think he was surprised to have that much space.
Not used to being in that position.
Allen gets it into Jack Stanley. Stanley just chips it up. Finds Jordan Hayden, another Tasmanian. That kick just finds a target in Gowers. That gets to Gross on the bounce. Now to Ives, now to Warren, right in front of us here. Little short chipping ball finds Jono Freeman with the go-go gadget arms. And he chips it inside. Finds Gowers again. So right in the middle of Graham Road it is. Dangerous kick, and now it comes to ground. Good pressure by Southport there by Henry Joyce. Over the top to Hampton. Hampton looking for the target. Swallow, he just almost looked like he pulled his arms out of it. And Southport, they will repel through Reeves.
Reeves having a bounce, going down the outer side. This is a ball that's, well, I didn't think it was in favour of his teammate. It ended up being played beautifully there by Wilkinson. Kicks it inside 50. Johnson runs past it. Oh, and so does Hancock. Ran over the top of it. Johnson comes in. It's touched on the line. There's a bit of a comedy of errors there. Well done by Gavin Gross. But Hancock overran the ball. 3 behinds to 1. Southport lead it as Aspley bring the ball back in. Hampton's got it.
Well, they made it a bit hard for themselves again. Hampton, not a good kick, but Swallow grabs it, tries to put in the path of Joyce. He's immediately set upon, but the ball come back to Swallow, who was impacted high at half back, out of side.
You just see Southport's defensive setup as well. Really difficult for Aspley to get the ball moving out of half-back.
Jake Spencer got the kick. Had to really stretch for it. Right out wide. Still backward of centre on that outer wing. Gives it to Jackson Allen. A low penetrating pass, and Charlesworth comes in, impacts the contest, and smashes it over the boundary line, and in turn does that to Will Gowers as well.
Good start from Jake Spencer. Got the 4 disposals already early on in the game. It's going to be a handful for Jed Turner in the ruck department here. The two of them will go at it again from this boundary throw-in. Spencer made his way to the front, tapped it down beautifully to Swallow. Now enter Matthew Payne, got away from Dale for the moment, comes across, drops the ball in the hands of Stackelberg. Just forward of the centre crop circles here at Graham Road, kicks it inside 50. Southport advantage by the kick, reading it beautifully and bringing the ball out. Their defence is wonderfully set up. Davis will just chip it forward, find his teammate there in Taylor.
So Taylor goes out wide, the outer side. Seems to be the direction. Take it down there. There, a run and carry came from Reeves. Half forward, one-on-one contest. Well done by Aspley. Now take possession. Stanley gets it off to Joyce. Joyce to Toy. Plenty of instruction coming from the Aspley coaching box beside us. Only about players getting on their bike, one of which was Stackelberg. Now, Aspley will take it deep inside forward 50. Davis was there, or Murdoch it might have even been. Dangerous handball, but it will come off. And Southport will get it out to Josh Clayton. Clayton out wide, finds Clemens just inside the boundary line. It had to be pinpoint, didn't it?
It was right on the chalk. Beautiful kick. Now they're coming back across the face of goal. Clements. They're just moving it again through Charlesworth. It's going to go down the outer side. Jed Turner being the target at the back. Allen punches it down. Good work against a much taller man. Henderson can't control it. Cop one high. Will get a free kick.
I just think the ground's actually a little bit lush, isn't it? And,
it is.
The players almost seem like it's a tiny bit slippery. Just that little hint of moisture about it.
A little bit of my garden maintenance experience. The ryegrass, I think they've just cut it a little bit too long, Kanga.
Allen goes long, inside forward 50. Davis with the spoil. Now to Freeman. In fact, it wasn't Freeman, it was Prevail. Into the side today. Boston just spins out of one, does it well. Clemens couldn't take it with him. Good work there by Reece Toy. Now to Gross, who just gets it on that familiar left. It goes long, off the one step, if you don't mind, Gavin Gross. First goal of the game.
It is a weapon. His boot is a weapon, and when he decides to use it in that fashion, it is an effective weapon. Well done. The first goal of the game goes to Aspley. And this is the area Southport in the last few weeks have been explosive in the first quarter, Kanga, where they've blown the Brisbane Lions, they've blown Sydney Uni away, but Aspley really digging in hard in the clinches and holding the Southport up at the moment. It's a very good start for the Hornets here on their home deck.
Yeah, it is, and I think a couple of those forward entries for Southport just haven't quite worked out the way they would like them to, and just on that occasion, it took Gavin Gross to actually put the score on the board because they just have been stagnated down back as well, Aspley.
Umpire Adair bangs it down in the middle. Spencer slapped it down. It's stuck under several. We'll do it all again in the same spot. Third goal of the year for Gavin Gross. Very popular member of the NEFL representative team last year and the entire community. That's in the back.
Oh,
well, no, it's not. No, you even stuck the 2 mitts out to give me the signal that it was in the back. Billy Beardsall will accept the free kick. He kicks it long to half forward. Swallow was interfered with. He'll take a free kick just beside the point of the centre square. 70 metres out from the Aspley goal. They'd love another one here. Dangerous spot. Big fly. Prevail over the back. Spencer, the big units. What a bit of roving from the big man. He kicks a goal for Aspley. 2-1-13 to Southport, 3 straight behinds. We played 12 minutes of the first term, and the 6'7" of Max Spencer turned into the little roving player and a deft finish.
Well, I think he's been front and centre 3 times already this afternoon. We had a contest in the middle of the ground, and he happened to get there to pick up the crumbs, and a couple of times there. So adept in the air, adept in the ground. He was probably was in the right spot, just hanging around the back of the pack, but
loitering with intent.
I'm not even sure if it was intent, but it came off nonetheless.
Well, look, 7 disposals for Jake Spencer so far and a goal. Fair start to the game for him.
So away they go again. And Toy, he looked like he was infringed. No call from the umpire. Joyce, he just can't take it with him. Has to go again. Henderson to Toy. Now to Jackson Allen. Just setting off up well off half back is Jackson Allen. Here's Jasper Craven, son of Danny Craven.
Oh.
And that's not a great disposal. And it was well cut off there by Southport. That was Charlesworth, but the kick from him wasn't good. And that is out. Jack Stanley, who was on the burst.
He was,
but he ran it out over the boundary line, so throw in right in front of us.
Some great reading of the play there from young Jack O'Shea, who just floated across half-back for Southport. Those young players really important in their defensive structure. Spencer, again, having a cracking game to start with. Payne getting away from Dale and then diving on the ball, beating the dreadlocked one. Gives it back to Ives. Ives now, Freeman! Or is that Preval, sorry?
No, I think
hang
we'll go
on.
smaller again.
We're going even smaller again. I'll put the binoculars up
That's
instead of going through the
Stackelberg.
glasses. Connor Stackelberg takes the mark. Goodness gracious me.
Freeman standing right in front of us here.
Well,
mate.
I'll give you the tip. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and I'll do it live, is pull this window out in front of me, which is now making... we can now see, instead of 2 panes of glass, I've got 1. As Stackelberg comes in from 30 metres. Leans back and just misses. Just didn't kick through the ball there. It was
it looked ugly off the boot, didn't it?
Certainly was. 2-14. Placed 3 behinds after 14 and a half minutes of the first term.
Well, he took the pane of glass out, and Matthew Payne was involved in that last bit of play. It was very good. Here's Freeman. Takes a contested mark. Chipping ball inside forward 50. Now ends up with Henderson, who roosts it. Offline it is, though. Got a chance. It was Giles who gave him the handball, and it was open space. He had a good look at it. Did Daniel Henderson. Couldn't quite take it. Southport, dangerous kick in. They might get it again. Ives has his kick smothered. Swallow. Fife has to lay the tackle. Dale gets the handball up. Can't be taken cleanly. Clements knocked off the ball. Coming in hard on that occasion was last week's goal-kicking hero in Chadwick, and now the ball's tied up right on forward 50. Aspley attacking yet again.
Aspley doing it well at the moment. They're leading by 11 points. Handball out of congestion. Picked up there by Boston. It's a torp towards the outer wing. Gross leads in the chase. Handball off to Ben Warren. Measures a kick inside 50. Tried to search for the leading Jono Freeman, but nothing happening. It was cut off nicely. Southport defence. It's a dangerous kick. Intercepted. Right on 50 now. Warren gets involved. Taylor in defence to Clark. Handball over the top. Again, they're under pressure. The Southport defence not clearing the ball as they have been the last few weeks. Ball into the middle. Payne. Handball over the top to Craven. He's going to put a dangerous ball to half forward. Didn't find his teammate. And Southport, well, that was taken by Clements, and he was tackled into the ground immediately, and there was going to be a ball up at left half back. Southport were moving the ball a hell of a lot easier over the last couple of weeks out of their defensive area with their structure. Aspley making it really hard for them to do that.
They are so far. Spencer hit it away from Watson. And they'll take the ball away, will they? Clayton just fumbled it, then gets it off. Now Manteet with the long kick from half-back over the top of Johnson, and it was just getting a hand on it. Jack Stanley over the boundary line it goes. So just forward of 50 for Southport on that outer side. We'll have the ball thrown in. Played only 17 minutes of this first quarter, and 11 points the margin.
It's actually 12 scoreboard here at Graham Road. Reading 14-3. It should be 15 in favour of Southport. Now Warren. Back into the corridor. Chipping ball into the middle was beautiful to Beardsall, who tried to take off and nearly got his head taken off at the same time. Brett Ritchie, the umpire, calling a free kick. So Billy Beardsall, he's going to go back out. Find Big Spencer.
It's hard to kick it over his head, isn't it?
I was about to say. He could put in a high bomb. It wouldn't go over his head. Daniel Henderson comes back now to Gavin Gross. Gross chips it up the corridor, just moving it slowly and methodically. Aspley keeping the ball out of Southport hands. Henry Joyce. Oh, drills it into the man on the mark in Baxter, who plays on. He's going to kick it to Hancock. He's going to put it out in front of him. He's got Gavin Gross running with him, but bounces nicely for Hancock. He just doubled back, held up, lowered his eyes and hit a target, and Baxter kept coming. He's right on 55. He's got a couple of options, including the wide one. That's a beautiful kick. And once again, they're going to have a crack at a shot at goal. Is that Dylan Mutu? One of the annoying little mosquito fleet that did it to the Brisbane Lions last week. Just kept tackling and putting himself in was Dylan Mutu. So he's got a chance to put Southport on the board for their first goal. He's going to have to kick it from just inside 50.
Generally a good kick for goal, I think, too.
Yep, he'll have a crack at it. Mutu from 45. Oh, hits the left-hand goal post. It was well struck, but only the one behind. 2-3-15 plays 4 straight behinds. Now it's 11 points the margin.
Take no notice of me anytime I call anybody's a good kick this afternoon, because 2 from 2 so far. One out on the full and one hit the post.
Put you on the mark, mate.
So Gavin Gross brings it in, went up the middle and did it well. Jordan Hayden's the man with the football. Still deep in his own defensive 50. Now he just puts it out wide, looking for the tall timber of Freeman. And did well. He was just pushed under it a little, but just put the arms up high enough to bring it down with him. Got the short one to Gavin Gross and now to Gowers. So still at half back out of side. So just trying to find a path through. Short chipping ball. Finds Ives. He's done well so far, have Aspley, to just work the ball down the line now to Payne. Right on that outer wing. He chips one over the top. Now to Gowers. So they're just maintaining possession nicely.
And they're well set up against Southport in front. Very defensive game at the minute. Long kick to half forward. Once again, Southport reading it in defence. It's going to chip over to Reeves. Freeman comes out, holds him up as the umpire said he could do so. Davis lowers the eyes, hits Tom Wilkinson on the lead. Wilkinson's right on defensive 50. He will go back. He will go, no, he's well covered by the Aspley forward, so he's going to come long down the line. Commentary box, Gavin Gross at the front of the pack. It actually scones Jack Stanley, bit of a falcon. Bounces into the arms of Arnold, who's surrounded, belted into the ground by both Chadwick and Clements, and we'll get a ball up right in front of the benches. And it's Aspley, 2-3-15, Southport, 4 straight behinds. We've played 21 minutes first term.
Spencer got it down. Finds Payne. Payne on the left. It curls around the boundary line, but out on the full it is. Just the same. A little bit of attempted wizardry from Matthew Payne.
Only the 4 disposals so far for Matthew Payne, first quarter.
And Southport put it down deep. Baxter, the spoil from Gross, just angled the fist nicely. Get the ball right out in front of us. Number of changes being made.
As Gavin Gross comes off the field, he's had 6 touches and kicked a goal. Not bad when you're playing centre half back.
Well, he and Jackson Allen have been marshalling the troops at half back, and copying a high one there was Reece Toy. Just noticing the influence Max Spencer's having over the contest so far, or Jake Spencer, I should say. Max Spencer, who's that? Oh, that's Gold Coast Suns.
Palm Beach
That's that.
Yep.
Short kick finds Gowers. Call to go. Goes deep. And again, cut off. Oh, I was going to say cut off, but bobbling it there was Charlesworth. Now Aspley have a chance. Batchelor fends one off. Beardsall, he's just knocked off the ball. Brodie Murdoch, Boston. And that kick is in the path of Johnson. And had no eyes for the ball, Jackson Allen there, but no harm, no foul, said the umpire. The ball rolls out of bounds. Half back for Southport. On that outer side, we'll have the throw in there.
There's only one set of players now, 2 sets of players forward of the centre circles for Southport. The rest of them in the defensive half of the ground. Spencer dominating this first term, slaps it down. Several bodies again. Umpires will come in and ball it up. And that is umpire Andrew Adair wearing the number 1. He'll start proceedings again on the outer side of the ground. 11 points the margin. 2-3-15 to Aspley. 4 straight behinds to Southport as they're trying to get it outside their defensive area. A swallow for Aspley. Wobbles one inside 50. Oh, almost hitting it beautifully. There's been a change of number on the ground there as it's picked up there by Batchelor. Batchelor has a snap and could have marked it, but punching it through was Brodie Murdoch in the number 14. It'll be another behind.
Well, they're under a fair bit of pressure, aren't they, Southport? They just haven't been able to find a nice way through half forward the last 5 to 10 minutes. Murdoch goes over the back of the contest there. Running onto it was Henry Joyce. Just tries to swing it around. Can't do so. Out of bounds on the full. A little bit sloppy. Probably should have turned in board and tried to look for an option on that front. And Southport through Boston bring it in. Find Tyler Roos. Roos finds Brodie Murdoch. Look to get on his familiar left. Umpire calls him to go. Out towards Hancock. Just doesn't have quite the size, but the ball gets over the back. Contest in there. Emerging with it was a Southport player. Batchelor has to lay the tackle on Wilkinson. We'll have the ball tied up. There's a flurry of interchanges.
Actually, that was. It was like the start of a fun run there. And just coming off, Noah Corbett just feeling a little bit worse for wear. As the trainers come off, he copped a big knock, the young man.
So out of the pack, the ball finds Dylan Mutu. Mutu goes all the way back. As Taylor out there, who in turn goes in descending number order to Brodie Murdoch. Oh, that bounce eluded Tyler Roos. Freeman was there, trying to impact the contest. Murdoch's there as well. Roos, they're just sort of passing it. A bit of pass the parcel, a bit of kids' game of a birthday party. The umpire didn't know who had it, said, I'll just ball it up instead.
Here we are at Graham Road. It is round 14 NEFL action. 2-4-16. And Aspley are leading this to Southport with the 5 behinds as the ball goes down the outer side of the ground a half forward. That's a beautiful mark taken by Jack Stanley. Just read it well. Takes it right on 50. He's got men loose in the corridor. Umpire calls him to play on. Now he's forced to go down the outer side. Southport with the numbers. El Mucho takes the mark. Andrew Boston just patrolling the area. Again, Southport defence set up nicely. And the umpire's pulled out a 50 here, has he? No, it is a 50-metre penalty. So it looks like somebody's gone within that demilitarised zone, the protected area, the much controversial protected area. That's a generous 52, just quietly. Umpire Brett Ritchie brings it down. It's going to be 40 metres from goal.
And John Blair just talking real estate from the coach's box to the umpire out there, and just mentioning how he'd like to buy some land off that umpire.
Certainly would. At that rate, it's not a bad option. So El Mucho, Andrew Boston. Can he get Southport's first goal of the day? He's got the skills, he's got the talent, and he's got the right shoe on the siren. That should lift the Sharks. Right on quarter time. 2-4-16 to Aspley. 1-4-10 to Southport. It's one straight goal the difference. Really tight first quarter here at Graham Road. Aspley first place against fifth place. And Mark Kanga-Kennedy, Aspley would be very happy with that first term considering the way Southport have started their last couple of games. Well,
I think they've been able to get the game on their terms, haven't they? They've been able to chop it off at half-back, having Southport bomb the ball a little bit higher where they are taller in defence, and then, conversely, just chip the ball down the line, and a couple of those goals have been very well constructed, albeit the fact that Spencer's goal just fell over the back of the pack, but it's the way they've brought the ball inside forward 50 that's probably been the weight of the way they've done it. So inside 50 is actually going Aspley's way 13-8. Hit-outs 15-2 and clearances 9-6. All Aspley's way, and that has probably been one stat that is a bit telling for Aspley, the fact that they've got the hit-outs and the clearances which have led to their inside 50s.
The big fella, I agree with you, Spencer, having a cracking first term. He's had those 9 touches, as you say, kicked the goal. He's controlling things around the middle. Now, we saw the Dreadlock Destroyer in Lee Dale, who's had some big scalps as far as tagging goes. He's been following Matthew Payne from Aspley around in that first quarter. He's restricted Payne to the 6 disposals, but it's... Oh, you can have a look at those and wonder about the quality of those 6 disposals because he's been under enormous pressure.
Yeah, he has, and I think, again, it probably comes down to the way the game's being played. It's been in tough and tight, and Aspley have held sway just through that bigger body of Spencer's been able to handle it. But I think some of the coach for Southport, Steve Daniels, will make some adjustments here along the game plan because they've got a shorter forward line. So they'll look to push up a little bit further, get the ball over the back and get the run so they can really work on their terms.
Well, we'll see how they go with that after this break. It is NEFL TV, round 15 action, and it's Aspley Hornets versus the Southport Sharks. We're streaming live on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Back very shortly. Welcome back to Graham Road, Aspley. It's NEAFL round 15, Aspley versus Southport. First place versus fifth place. At the moment, it's the fifth placed home side in Aspley leading the game. 2-4-16 to Southport, 1-4-10. Goal scorers for Aspley, Gavin Gross and Jake Spencer. Andrew Boston with one for Southport, right on the siren to put them within 6 points. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action for NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. And Kanga, really tight first quarter from both sides.
Yeah, it was, and Aspley had held sway there, but Southport kept themselves in the game with a late goal to Andrew Boston right on the siren, which I'm sure John Blair would be ruining because it came as a result of a 50-metre penalty. Yeah,
and the 50-metre penalty, that controversial exclusion zone type of free kick, which has caused a lot of problems over this weekend.
Just a couple of stats while we're waiting here. 105 to 70 possession-wise going Aspley's way. Hit-outs 15-2, clearances 9-6 and inside 50s 13-8. All Aspley's way.
Turner beat Spencer for this one. Ball drops at the feet of Swallow. Got a handball away, then followed up the good work. Handballed it off. Now it's with Warren. Warren lowers the eyes. Chips it in front of Jono Freeman on the lead, who cops fair bit of attention as he went through that, but took the mark under a lot of attention from Brodie Murdoch.
And I like the way Jono Freeman got straight up and started walking like it should have been 50 metres.
He's practising those beach curls. Again, is Jono Freeman. He's got the bit of the strut up. Let's see if he can. He's got this distance. There's no problem there. This would be a perfect start for the Hornets. He's going to have to sink the boot into it from right on 50. 45-degree angle. We're following it on NEAFL TV. Right behind him. The right shoe. It's looking good, but it's fading right. And one behind result. So 2-5-17 plays 1-4-10. 7 points the margin in favour of the Hornets.
Davis, deep, elects to go short, finds a target there, goes out wide. It was Michael Manteet. They're just messing around with the ball just a little bit here. Manteet got it back and then just roosted it high. Charlesworth feeds a little quick one up. Now just try and get the ball going their way. They do now. Chain of handballs. Watson, he got the handball away and then he gave it to his teammate under pressure. Fife. Clayton, haven't seen that much of him. Indiscriminate kick just favours Aspley. And Beardsall gives it back. Has Toy in support. Goes out wide, looking for the big fellow in Preval. He can't clasp it. Clark's there. Charlesworth feeds it out. Manteet, under pressure, gives it to Boston. Boston, he was under the hammer straight away from Batchelor. And that looks like a little bit of a tag that's going on.
Yes, that...
A little bit of close checking, and we'll have a ball up there.
Keep an eye on that one as well. El Mucho being worn by Batchelor. Ball up. Spencer. He slaps it down. Once again. Oh, Boston did beautifully. Handball off to Clayton, who just hacks it out of danger. Will it bounce for Warren? Good shepherding effort there. Left bend Warren, who lowered the eyes but then missed the target. Now Boston has it as half back. He's going to just bomb it long, but there's no teammates there. Running hard as Wilkinson to get there, but again Aspley with the numbers, and that was beautifully done by Jackson Allen. Nice kick down towards Giles. It's knocked out by Taylor over the boundary line, and could have copped one there, Giles. It should have been a free kick for an effort after the ball had crossed the boundary line. It's going to be a little bit of a conference here. Don't need to tell you. He got thrown into the fence after he got rid of it. Oh, there you go. Controversial. Aspley coach's box beside us, not that happy about that one. But there will be a throw in right in front of us as Giles comes off the ground.
Spencer and Turner go again. No winner of the tap there, but Spencer went again. Gave it to Joyce and in turn to Payne. Payne just curling the ball around. Preval gives it off to Blake Nellis. Nellis puts his skates on.
Gee whiz.
And then ran too far.
Now,
I didn't think that was too far at all.
Well,
what do you think, Michael?
Given the disparity between the 50 metres before and the 15 metres there, I think we need a one of those little metre rollers that you walk out onto the ground with, Kanga.
A trundle.
Yeah,
a trundle wheel.
Yeah, we'll take one of those. Great grab.
Andrew Swallow, that was.
He is a very big pickup for the Aspley Hornets as Swallow kicks it inside 50 through the hands of Spencer. It's punched to ground again through Beardsall. Now Turner. He's tackled. Great tackle there by Toy. Brought the ball to ground, stuck under the pair of them. Umpire will ball it up again. Tight tight game. Every player on the ground, forward of the centre circles here.
Spencer and Turner. Spencer got it down, but Boston sharked it. Off to Clayton. Clayton, quick kick out of the congestion. Play on is the call. Didn't go the required distance. Jackson Allen puts it back from whence it came. Punch to ground. Running onto it is Warren. He has to get around his own player, then kicks for goal and does it nicely. The opening salvo of the second quarter goes the way of the home side. And they move out to a lead of 13 points, 3-5-23. Southport 1-4-10. And the pressure just keeps coming from the Hornets.
17th goal of the year for Ben Warren. And nice bit of calm work through traffic there. Had players everywhere. Got around one of his own, as you even called Kanga. And then popped it over the goal umpire's hat. Beautiful stuff. Aspley, 13 points in front. And they'd love this start. Coach John Blair would be loving this. Southport over the last couple of weeks have made the first half a feature of their game, and Aspley beating him in that department at the moment. Umpire Adair has the ball in the middle of Graham Road. There's Spencer, taps it down to Ives. Ives tackled and lets loose the ball. Now Davis picks it up, lowers the eyes, doesn't hit a target, but it's inside 50. Aspley with the running. Jack Stanley dribbles it. Well done by Craven, who slapped it forward. Very clever bit of football. It ends up now Beardsall. He's got, I think it's Charlesworth all over him. O'Shea, I should say. Ball stuck underneath him. He didn't enjoy that one at all. But he did beautifully. Well done to Spencer. Tapped it down to Clayton. Dribbles it forward. Now Clements to half forward. Punched away again. Aspley at the ground level through Hampton. They'll run away here, doing it again.
Now Ives to Hampton, by hand to Swallow. They've got runners everywhere at the moment. Ives, nice little kick. Finds Spencer, who got over the back. His kick wasn't as pretty.
Lucky did
off the one step. Punched away. They're going to retain possession here, and it is through Stackelberg. They go back inside, forward 50. Goes over the back, trying to spin out of trouble there. Was a player in O'Shea, and eventually Southport will settle in the back pocket, and eventually it'll be with Boston. And he had to go right back to almost full back.
Yeah, Boston. You can see the effort he's putting in at the moment. O'Shea, left back pocket. Southport trailing by 13 points. Chip forward, Tyler Roos takes it 40 metres out from his own goal. So once again, the Sharks finding it difficult to get out of their defensive area. They have a great defensive setup, but they usually find it a bit easier getting out. That's a long kick. Spencer at the back, fists it forward. Taylor, handball over the top to Manteet. Manteet backwards to Roos. Roos over the head of Dale. Was picked up by Hancock outside of the shoe. He's opposite number 21, takes it in Jack Stanley. So Aspley just tightened the screws there, Kanga.
Well, the pressure's been immense, hasn't it? So Jack Stanley asked to play on now, right in front of us. You hear the thud into the microphones. At the back, Murdoch, he got a spoil on it. Beardsall gets around. He was just impeded, and the throw was called on him. And the tackle will be rewarded.
O'Shea again.
O'Shea, yeah, so did well.
He's doing some really good stuff in defence, Jack O'Shea, the Broadbeach product. Burley Juniors as well.
Goes down the line. Just pushed off it was Watson. And Jack Stanley, easiest of marks. Watson just didn't have a great presence in that marking contest, fair to say. Stanley is back. Same position again. Over the back of Dale and Payne. Illegally was the push.
Well,
on Payne by Dale. And the Major will line up for one.
Well,
he is a Major Payne in the side of opposition sides. And we're going to see if he can inflict a bit of an extra wound in the Sharks.
Well, he made the umpire realise it was there. It was there, but he made the umpire see it.
Payne comes in, looks online, it is. It's his first for the afternoon, and Aspley's fourth. And they skip away to a 19-point lead as pleasantries exchanged.
I was about to say, and immediately that Payne has kicked that goal, Jake Spencer has run straight to Lee Dale, just given him a nice hip and shoulder and said, what about that one, sunshine? Lee Dale is all over Matthew Payne, but Payne's still racking up those touches. He's got the class as Matthew Payne, and he just showed that too. Take the tag, take it back into the forward line, put the tagger under the pressure, and see what happened. Cop the free kick and gets a much needed goal for Aspley to take them further in front after they've been hammering at Southport for the last several minutes. Umpire Sam Ward bangs it down in the middle. Spencer having a cracking game today. Slapped it forward. Giles strengthened the middle. Handball back to Toy. Inside 50 over the back. Jono Freeman controlled it Gaelic style with the foot. Gives it to Payne. The accumulator gets the ball away. Manteet. It's kicked long down the outer side. Hampton versus Clements versus the boundary line. Boundary line wins out of bounds on the full. So Hampton will take the free kick for Aspley. They'll go back in. Attack again, Kanga.
Well, inside 50, 22-9 at the moment. And the way they've been handling the football, I'll do it. On this occasion, they go back to go forward. Gowers now to Jackson Allen. There's another inside forward 50. Over the head of Preval on that occasion, though, and the ball spills harmlessly for Southport over the boundary line. The margin 19 points. We've played a little over 10 minutes of this second quarter here at Graham Road. Not a cloud in the sky in the northern suburbs of Brisbane, if you're just tuning in to NEFL TV. That one you give to Turner. Ripped off the ball there was Jasper Craven. Will win the free kick. Ives was thinking about a bit of advantage. Instead, it'll come back to Jasper Craven.
You'd have to take it as Matthew Payne comes off the ground there, closely followed by his overcoat in Lee Dale. But Craven, right on the boundary line here, Kanga. Oh, he's played on.
He gives it straight to Jackson Allen. He would have a long shot for goal. Why wouldn't you give it to Jackson Allen? I said he was a good kick for goal and he kicked it out of bounds. I wasn't really watching and then he kicks a great goal. Amazing.
Oh, Jackson Allen. And how about the lackadaisical, I suppose, looking after the mark from the Southport players there? It's now blown out to a 25-point margin. And Southport yet to trouble the scoreboard in this second quarter. Aspley have kicked 3-1. Southport still stuck on 1-4-10. It's NEFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. We're proudly supported by the good people at Elastoplast.
It's a bit damning the way that Southport's only goal has come as a result of a 50-metre penalty. Giles and Boston having a little bit of introduction. Turner wins that one. Only gets down to Swallow, though, who was just hunting around as defensive as surety. Gets it forward. Giles tries to spin out of one. It was Boston with the tackle. Ryan Davis. Quick chipping ball out. To the outer side finds Clements. So plenty of pressure there coming to bear on Southport. They withstood it on that occasion.
So Clements down the outer side of the ground. Looking for Baxter. It goes over the heads of all comers. Taking it over there was Watson. 23rd player today for Southport. Over the boundary line. We get another throw in. 25 points to the margin, 12.5 gone, second term here on NEFL TV. Beautiful day for football here in southeast Queensland. Spencer versus Turner for Southport. Spencer again dominating the hit-outs. Ball in dispute at ground level. Swallow shoots the handball out. Beardsall misses Henderson. Henderson now goes back, gets ball, handball now to, it was Jackson Allen. He was tackled immediately. Could not get the ball away, and umpire says it was held to him, so we'll ball it up at more or less centre half forward for Southport. They desperately need something. Tyler Roos gets beaten for the ball. Giles, strength, handballs it right at the feet of Reece Toy. It bounces off the feet, and now Southport with the ball, and El Mucho gives it to Clayton. They should be away here through O'Shea.
And O'Shea looking for Johnson, and punched away from him by Jackson Allen. Mitch Johnson yet to trouble the statisticians this afternoon.
Well, 36 goals for the year. He's been an effective forward, but really well held.
And Jackson Allen has been influential coming back the other way off half back. From the back, Spencer impacts the contest. Boston, close to the boundary line, gets that quick handball away. Tyler Roos immediately under pressure from the tackle of James Ives, and will have a ball up. Umpire looking on intently.
And Jackson Allen, 9 disposals and done some beautiful work so far as Turner and Spencer. This time Turner goes over the top looking for Swallow. Manteet put himself in. It bounces inside forward 50. Well done again by Allen, who's giving Johnson a bit something to think about for Southport. Now Toy, all the way around the ankles, took the ball nicely, chipped it to Swallow. Swallow's got a man on, but again, the experience. He knew that he had to hold up. Now kicks long, inside 50. Big fly from Freeman over the back of the pack is Giles. Giles can't pick it up. Well done there by Murdoch. And chipped across to Manteet. Southport should be out here as Manteet goes over to Clements in the back pocket.
So Clements, chipping ball, dangerous. Was looking for Watson. Gross was right there. Just buttering up there was Clements. Tried to spin out of it, but it only spun over the boundary line. So I'll have a throw in.
Once again, every player on the field forward of the centre circles in Aspley's forward half. They're really condensing the play.
Spencer, give that one to him again. Lee Dale on hands and knees, tackled away from the football. It'll come out to Payne. Payne, inside forward 50, just spots up a target, does it well. And Giles is the man with the football. That spiffy-looking man bun. Of course, plenty of fresh salads on top of the sconces tonight, because it's the Aspley Gala ball. Shoots for goal. Doesn't like it. Michael?
Just looking at Matthew Payne there. How about the class of the multiple MVP winner? He just lowered the eyes, hit Giles, smashed him on the chest. Unfortunately for Giles, did not convert there, but Payne showing his class as Gross. Takes the mark, wobbles it to a dangerous spot. Clark couldn't control it under pressure, slaps it through for a behind. There's slight appeals here, but nothing happening. 5-7-37 Aspley to Southport 1-4-10. A game high 27 points the margin, Kanga.
Davis goes long. Turner's a target. Spencer gets the one hand up. Southport control the ball, but only temporarily is coming through. Well done there by Hampton. Just showed a clean set of heels, but the handball just didn't hit the target. Turner. Now Hampton goes again. Now he's done the 360, so the umpire should ping him. He doesn't say so. He says, I'll ball it up instead.
Aspley dominating this quarter. They've kicked 3 goals, 3. Southport yet to bother the scoreboard. Spencer slaps it down. And again, goes with the second effort. Hampton versus Fife. Fife got a fist in there. Corbett gets the ball away. Clark now. Big Jed Turner says, bugger this. Just get the left foot into it and get out of here. Ball goes over the back. Hayden pushed out of it at ground level. Well done there by Arnold. Oh, could have been held without it. Baxter tried to let the umpire know about it too and gives him a mouthful on the way through. Now Tyler Roos enters the fray. Gives it to Fife. Fife left foot. And hits a target just over the head of Jack Stanley. Really good effort. Wilkinson takes the mark.
And what about the effort of Wade Hancock there? That's the one that set that up. Really worked his man off the ball and then did all the grunt work in order for it to end up with Wilkinson.
Tom Wilkinson loves a goal. 15 for the year, 3 goals last week. Very good in their 2-point win over the Brisbane Lions. This will test him. He'll have to sink his boot into it from 45. Does so. The right shoe. Curling. Loves a goal, does Tom Wilkinson. Great finish. And Southport get their second. 5-7-37, 2-4-16. Back to 21 points the margin. 18 gone second term.
Oh, pretty happy with himself there, Wilkinson. Gave the signal to the crowd after he knew it went through.
Oh, why not a little bit of a celebration, Kanga? Some personality in the footy.
Well, I think there was a little bit of advice coming over the boundary line to him about how he should kick it. And he was just suggesting that well worked through in terms of the advice.
Absolutely.
To get him there. So, very important goal there. Southport, 2-4-16. Aspley, 5-7-37. So, still some 21 points adrift. Clayton for Southport goes inside forward 50. Hancock went down low, needed the earth mover. the digger to try and get that one up. Couldn't do so. The ball tied up underneath plenty, 50 metres out. Southport attack. Can they get a little bit of momentum, bit of a roll on here, Michael?
I think they need to with regards to that. That would have lifted their spirits, that last goal. Great finish from a young man in Wilkinson, and that's holding the ball or illegal disposal. Great tackling there from the dreadlock destroyer, Lee Dale.
Well, Spencer did the right thing. I mean, the ball bounced from the ruck contest, and then he gathered it, and then the tackle was applied, and he just tried to drop it onto his foot and missed it. Yeah. And Dale was the man who had a class with him, so I think that's a fair free kick.
Absolutely fair free kick. So Lee Dale, not a noted goal kicker. He's kicked 4 for the year from Yakandanda in Victoria. Sinks his boot in from 49. It starts right. It's not going to have the distance. Oh, colliding with the post there too. But 1 point results. So 5-7-37 to 2-5-17, back to 20 points. The margin could be a problem here, Kanga.
They nearly botched this, Aspley. The kick in. Boston gets it inside forward 50. Wilkinson. It's going to be paid. I thought the man in front had a little piece of that. That was Jack Stanley. But Wilkinson, he came up. In fact, it was Charlesworth, was it?
It was a big pack.
And we will... He'll go back and have a look at this. So Wilkinson has a chance to rack up 2 in almost as many minutes. Comes in, 25 metres out. It's good. The margin narrows. And now back to 14. Southport are getting a little bit of a run on here all of a sudden. Well, that will give them some real confidence pushing forward now.
They absolutely needed it too. And this was about the same stage of the game. Last week, Southport versus the Brisbane Lions, and the Lions are just making a big surge back in front. It was Wilkinson who kicked a couple of quick ones late in the game just to put them back in a position for Chadwick to come in and steal the game for them. But just can bob up and kick a couple of beauties like that. He was in absolutely no way entitled to take that mark, but did it regardless. Well played. Back to 14 points the margin. Close contest here for round 15 of NEFL TV. Spencer versus Turner. Turner wins that one. Clayton can't control it. Spencer goes back. Can't quite hit his shoe as he's tackled by Turner. Lee Dale. Back to Turner. Tackled there. Matthew Payne getting involved. And umpire comes in, says we'll ball it up again.
Of course, Jed Turner played at Aspley. Won a premiership at Aspley.
Played at Sydney Uni.
And the ball just eludes everybody except Chadwick coming through. And there's a little bit of grief off the ball. And the free kick will go the way of Southport. Yeah. And it was Jake Spencer who was into
Lee Dale.
Lee Dale.
Yeah, see, they're trying to... That tag is a hard tag. Lee Dale on Payne.
And the kick inside forward 50 from Clayton. Just set up for Hancock and just got cut off. Jackson Allen comes back the other way. Brady Murdoch keeps the ball in. Through the legs of Charlesworth. Payne came in hard there. Jack O'Shea just launches it. Back to forward 50. Hancock just stands underneath it. Dragged down by Hampton. No harm, no foul there. I think that's fair. And right on forward 50, he fancies himself, does Wade Hancock. How many goals has he kicked for the year so far?
22 for the year, the journeyman.
Well, he and Mitch Johnson have been the absolute focal points, and they are very diminutive.
Well, they're both 180 centimetres, Kanga. They're not going to trouble anybody as far as height's concerned, but they've kicked 58 goals between them.
They are the weapons. We'll see what Hancock can produce. It kicks it. It starts left, and it stays left. Quite what the Sharks had hoped for, but they narrow the margin to 13 points as Aspley, through Jackson Allen, can reload.
He's got Jono Freeman calling for the ball on the commentary side. Plays it to himself, and he's going to go in that direction. Freeman's now at the back of the pack. Directs it down. It was well done by Clark. Tackled by Swallow. Loses the ball. Toy. Oh, he's got Giles open. Takes the mark, does Giles. Got plenty of space. Had a bounce and then kicks beautifully to Nellis. Nellis receives the ball. 25 metres out directly in front.
No lay-down misère is what I'm being told from the back of the box.
No lay-down misère for Blake Nellis. Directly in front. Well, this is the kind of goal that you would really appreciate being an Aspley coach and or fan and or player, because Southport have just had the benefit of the last 10 to 15 minutes. This would really slap them about after that. 24 minutes gone, second term. Blake Nellis. Not a problem. Straight as an arrow. 6-7-43 to Aspley. 3-6-24 to Southport. Back to 19 points the margin, and the Hornets just keeping the Sharks at bay.
Yes, they are. And I was actually speaking to Blake Nellis's cousin, James, who's on the road to recovery. And I can't say what he said. I said, give me a little bit of dirt on Blake. And I just can't say it on air because it was a little bit rude.
Because it was dirt.
Well, it was just filth, to be honest. It wasn't of anything bad about Blake. He just trying to say some rubbish about him, but he produced.
It's a family show on Neefel TV.
Suggested he couldn't kick either, mind you, but he certainly did that one well.
6 goals, 7-43. Southport 3-6-24. 25 gone, second term Neefel TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. This is Mark Kennedy.
So the hit out was won easily there by Preval, and the ball just sat up for Tyler Roos there, and easy was the tackle to be laid by Swallow. So we'll go again, Preval and Turner. Just stand side by side. The longer arms of Preval. Got the tackle away. Manteep got Swallow. Ball turned over. Roos, he's run down. That was a very nice piece of work by the big man in Preval, I think it was.
Yeah, certainly was.
It was almost a goal-saving tackle, you'd suggest, Price.
Absolutely. Affected the kick and caused the turnover. Well done by the big man in Preval. Now Aspley with the ball at half-back. Just controlling things. Chipped back now to Hayden. Hayden's got Warren on the lead. Decides to go a little shorter to Hampton. It nutmegs him through the legs. Chadwick, Johnson over the top. Chadwick was actually, Clements who was tackled. Chadwick was running up for the ball, and it was Henderson who was complaining bitterly that it should have been holding the agate. Nothing doing.
Well, he didn't really have
no prior opportunity,
but he did try and drop the ball straight away on his boot, and he missed it just the same.
Ball thrown up. Slapped down now. Still in dispute. Many players around this. Manteep picks it up. He's barreled. Stacks on the mill. Another one.
One thing Southport are noticeably missing is the poise and the defensive work of Seb Tate down back.
Yeah, he's a big out for Southport. He's a calming influence, as you say, Kanga.
And Boston has a fresh air shot, then goes off the ground. Clements tries to just give the little bit of a check side, or the banana for those non-South Australians amongst us. And at 1 point went to the near side. So the margin back to 18 points or 3 straight kicks.
So we're going to bring the ball back in from the northern goal. Aspley to bring it back in through Jackson Allen. Kicks long, but was actually directly to Charlesworth. Preval did beautifully. The handball ends up with Swallow. Swallow over the top to Giles. Will it bounce for him? No. Well, it bounces awkwardly for Clark. It actually, in fact, was in favour of Giles. Handball back now to Beardsall. Can he get it and control it? He does, and Ives lowers the eyes and hits his target in Connor Stackelberg. Again, Southport, all the numbers back. They have clogged this 50. Now, Stackelberg, he's put the mouthguard into the shorts. He reckons he's going to have a ping at this. He'll have to kick it from 55 on a tight angle. Still looking inboard, Kanga. In one word, yes or no?
No.
Stackelberg with a big no from Mark Kennedy, and I can see why. Starts at left, right to the goal square. Beautifully read by Davis. Didn't quite rush it through. Yes, they did. One behind. That's why we're on the big bucks, Kanga. Just called it as you saw it and was dead on the money again.
I'll take one. I think it's the first one I've got right all day.
Trying to pump you up, champion.
Thank you. There's a bit of reality about the world as well. The kick doesn't find Watson. Preval gets back, provides the pressure. Stackelberg now to Joyce. Joyce just roosts it high. Looking for Freeman. He's got the run of it. He can't take it. Southport, they're still under enormous pressure there. Plenty of bodies underneath it in that forward pocket all of a sudden. I thought Jono Freeman was going to launch himself for a potential mark of the day there.
Right in front of the scoreboard. It would have made an excellent shot. TJ Yells would have had the eyes like saucers looking at that through the lens. As it ends up at half forward. Aspley now through Craven. What's he going to do? There is no real estate to play with here. All players inside defensive 50. He goes long to the top. Warren floats across the front of the pack. He read it from a mile away, took it beautifully, and will have a ping from more or less point-blank range.
Well, the ball just sat up, didn't it? It was a bit of a nothing kick, really. It went to a reasonably dangerous spot, and Warren just found a little bit of space to be able to float in front of the pack and did well. Poor checking, you'd suggest, from Southport.
Already kicked one. I've put this down in the book as his second. Drills it. And just extends the lead again for Aspley late in the second term. 7-8-50, plays 3-7, 25, 25 points the margin. Here at Graham Road, Aspley, this is NEFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV, proudly supported by the good people at Elastoplast. Plenty of the sponsors' product going about as well on both sides. And you see the coach's box next door, not unhappy is Coach John Blair. Usually a little bit on the terse side, perhaps, grumpy, maybe a little...
Yeah, I've probably seen him smile once in my life, and he's not quite there yet.
Nearly.
But,
that was after the grand final.
Yeah, that's right.
2014,
That's right.
I think.
That's exactly right. And to get there after the last kick of the day. But he would be reasonably pleased as Henderson got it from Swallow now to the goal kicker, the dual goal kicker in Ben Warren. Gowers just gets the kick inside forward 50. Dangerous again. The siren beats Aspley on that occasion to score again. And at half-time, it is Aspley 7-8-50 leading Southport 3-7-25. So 25 points at margin. And statistically speaking, it suggested that margin is really warranted. Possessions overall going Aspley's way, 190 to 156. Hitouts 30-9. So Spencer has 26 of those. Inside 50s 32 to 16. So double the forward entries. And they're double the score of Southport. So, by the numbers, it works out fine for me.
Yeah, individually, Andrew Boston leads all comers on the field with 15 disposals and a goal. Andrew Swallow, Reece Toy, Matthew Payne, 13, 12 and 10 respectively. Jake Spencer, he's got 10 disposals and a goal. Ben Warren with 9 and a goal as well. Are your leading disposal winners on the ground as both sides make their way off the field here at Graham Road, Aspley. Half-time, 7-8-50 to 3-7-25. Aspley lead it. We'll be back with the second half very shortly on NEFL TV. Welcome back to Graham Road at Aspley. It's NEFL round 15. Aspley Hornets at home to the Southport Sharks, streaming live on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV. At half-time, it is Aspley 25 points in front of the Sharks. 7-8-50 to 3-7-25 after they led by 6 points at quarter time. It's Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action here at Graham Road today. A beautiful day for footy. Early 20s as far as the temperature goes. Not a cloud in the sky. Not any breeze whatsoever. It's been a really tight contest.
Well, it has, but for the home side, they've really held sway. And that 25-point lead at half-time is well-deserved. And we're going to see what Southport can throw up in this second half because they are on top of the ladder and they're there for a reason. So we'll see what they can produce.
Umpire Adair has it in the middle of the field and bangs it down. It's Jed Turner versus Spencer. Ball bounces in front of Fife. He loses his footing, then gets back up. Jack in the box. The left foot inside 50. Johnson fisted away by Stanley. Rove there at front and centre by Jordan Hayden. He's tackled immediately and there'll be a ball up 40 metres out.
Well, right there is symptomatic of Southport's problem is that they kicked the ball too high so that the lead of Mitch Johnson, he just had to jump for it rather than just run onto it.
That's Swallow who breaks from congestion, kicks it in the middle. Oh, that was a good fly from Reece Toy. Didn't quite pull it down with the one arm. It's Taylor now. Handball out to Murdoch, misses the target, so Aspley are away. Jono Freeman kicks it over the top looking for Giles. Hits Giles 70 metres out from his own goal. He's got numbers inside 50. He's got Ben Warren coming down the other side of the field. Long kick from Giles. Preval nudged out of it. Davis and Ruse and Clayton back to Davis. They'll get out of here.
So Clayton Mutu. He's the man. It went over his head though. So does the ball stay in? Yes, it does. Gets now to Warren. And now Warren inside forward 50. Dangerous stuff. There trying to mop up with Clayton. Now Swallow goes around the corner. Didn't go the required distance. So play on's the call. Clark's there. And now the cavalry arrive from all directions. It's tied up under plenty, and we'll have a ball up.
Tell you what, Joshua Preval's done a couple of really good things. He's used his height to advantage. When he's been out of a contest, gets his arms in there, and like in that last one, just brought it to ground and gave Aspley a chance.
Another big man that's had plenty of influence is Jake Spencer, who got the hit out down, and Andrew Boston sharked it. He kicked it out of the way, and that is deliberate out of bounds. I can't disagree with that because there was just no real thought process behind it from the Mexican wrestler.
Now, the umpires called it correctly. Umpire Brett Ritchie, too experienced to cop that one.
And Henry Joyce is the man with the football for Aspley. He'll have a good guide because he's got the flags just in the background there. And I think they'll be telling him to kick it at the right goalpost, or the nearest goalpost to him, and let it come back on the breeze. And he aimed it too far to the near side there. Didn't give it a real chance, so Aspley extend their lead, but only by the minor, 26 points. Short kick in, finds Andrew Boston.
So Boston leading the charges, that's his 17th disposal. Chips it in board to the corridor, finds Tyler Ruse, who does the little shimmy, drops it at the feet of Hancock, who did beautifully. Handball back to Murdoch. He's getting corralled nicely by Nellis. It goes back up the line. Good running by Tyler Ruse, who just kept going. He wanted to play on. Good manning of the mark there by Allen it was. Brought the ball back to ground. It's going to get kicked inside 50 towards Baxter by Clayton. Baxter wheels around onto the right. Now it's into the direction of Johnson, but it just floated up and Ben Warren read it beautifully. It ended up dropping on his chest too easy.
Well, it was good coverage of ground there from Ben Warren, wasn't it? Saw Jordan Arnold take a diving mark, but Ben Warren covers the territory very nicely to help out down back, and here he is again, back pocket. Short kick, finds Swallow, just in front of El Mucho, Andrew Boston, the Mexican wrestler. And now Reece Toy at half-back.
What a great kick from Swallow's hanger. Sorry, just opened everything up, didn't it?
Murdoch with the spoil, but Aspley will retain possession. Jackson Allen now to Hampton. Has time, takes a bounce, puts it to half forward, and just the man with the run of the ball there was Ryan Davis at halfback.
Yeah, he just had the sit, didn't he? Oh, he was looking for El Mucho, beautifully read there by Toy. Took the mark. Inside the centre square, he's got a lead on Freeman. The one just couldn't quite control it. Ball hits the deck. It was Beardsell at ground level. Now it's just in amongst about 4 or 5 players as Giles goes chest to chest there with Ryan Davis coming up with it. It's Ethan Reeves. Umpire's going to ball it up now. Spencer slaps it down. Looking for Nellis. He can't pick it up. Taylor does. Did very nicely, but hoiked it straight up in the air. Bounces in front of Baxter and Gross. Beautifully tapped down there and roved by Allen. He chips it up, and there's a bit of a dispute for the ball with Henry Joyce and the Dreadlock Destroyer and Lee Dale, who's still following Matt Payne around. Hard tag on that one. Throw in, right half forward for...
Who would you say has had the honours? Matt Payne's had 10 disposals so far, kicked the goal.
Payne just.
So pushed off the contest was the big man, Spencer, and now Dale gets the ball going his way. Gross with the big fist. Running onto it there is Clements. Gives it off to Mutu. Mutu to the runner Clayton. Clayton, one-on-one contest up forward. Jack Stanley at the back. He was too tall. Johnson, though, just worked him off. It kicks around the corner and does it nicely. Probably a bit of an error you'd suggest there by Jack Stanley. Wasn't stronger in the marking contest, but the body pressure of Mitch Johnson was just enough to bring it to ground, and then he followed up with a second effort to do what he does best, and that's kick goals. Narrows the margin for Southport. Brings them back to 20 points the margin in favour of the home side, Aspley.
So Mitch Johnson, again, we've said his diminutive size as far as height goes, but his arms are about as thick as my legs. He is a square of a human being, and he just got rid of a couple of people with his good use of the body and his balance at ground level. Well done. The strength, his 37th goal of the year, actually 38th.
That'll add a few hundred Instagram followers to his... The shots at him in his little mankinis and so forth. Copping a very high one there was Beardsall. That was very indiscriminate. And that was Jordan Taylor that copped it.
And he's copping a bit from the Aspley blokes as well.
Look, it was indiscriminate, but he stuck the arm out. But I don't think there was any real malice intended. It was more just to try and impede his progress.
Yeah, semantics. If you stick your arm out, it is reflex, but if you stick it out, it's out. End of story.
So Payne got the handball from Beardsall, goes inside forward 50. Freeman was there, came to ground though. Tyler Roos just waxes with Wilkinson. Now Roos again. Couple of bounces, kicks the ball up. That's not his best effort and fell into the arms of the major Matthew Payne.
The accumulator of the pill. He just loves it. I wonder if his parents would have considered calling him Sharon for his middle name. He's got his name written all over the ball, that's for sure, as it's in the middle of the ground. Well done to Arnold. Goes out to Spencer. If it sits up, they're out again here. Spencer does beautifully around his ankles. Handball out to Ives. Now to Craven. Craven 70 metres out. Chips it forward. Southport with all the numbers. Turner had to play on it. Was touched off the boot. Well done by Reeves. Getting pressured there by Big Preval. Turner, he's under a heap of pressure, just hoiks it towards the wing. Aspley with the numbers. Coming back again, Jackson Allen. They've set the wall up halfway on the ground here at Aspley, lowering the eyes but missing the target. There was Jack Stanley. It went over the head of Batchelor. It was nicely read by Taylor. He'll take the mark.
It was probably a bad miss in the finish. Johnson has had to come up to the wing. Asked to go now. Stands, just props the ball up, and that's a nothing kick as Jackson Allen and Gavin Gross could have raffled it and half back. There's Warren Short. And in turn, he just bobs it up, and getting there before Fife could get him was Connor Stackelberg. Looks like very much like his father. Stackelberg's very synonymous with the main football club in the old days. Connor has been playing with Sandgate. Ball at half forward now. Stuck under plenty. The umpire will ball it up. 50-metre line, Aspley. They are attacking down this clubhouse or the northern end of Graham Road.
It looks like Dylan Fife now joining the fray with trying to put some physical pressure on Matthew Payne as Boston picks it up. He's immediately tackled by Ives into the ground right on 50. We'll do it all again. It is the Hornets by 20 points, 9 minutes gone. Third term here on NEFL TV. Both ruckmen go at it. Turner slaps it down into the path of Roos. He toes it forward. Chadwick back to Roos, who's putting on a big effort here in the third quarter. Stanley cut it off, though, against Johnson. Took it over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in. Coming off the paddock there is Jordan Hayden. On goes Jordan Arnold. So one Jordan for another. Right in front of us here in the NEFL TV commentary box. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV.
Give that one to Turner. Roos just puts a hand down. Warren was just trying to fish for it with his foot. That's a fair bit of bait. Payne. Now to Gowers. Gowers to half forward. Stackelberg. Right there with him is Taylor. Also there is Beardsall. On hands and knees with Taylor. Just hoiks the ball out almost. Ends up with Davis. Got it from Charlesworth. A little chipping ball. And not seeing what was coming was Clayton, but stood there underneath it anyway. Gives it off quickly. Manteet has the opposite side, or the outer side of Graham Road. A bit more open space. Chips the ball up on his left. Coming to meet it is Mutu. So at half forward, what's this build-up going to bring for the Sharks? Inboard goes to Clark. He'll load up on his left. Goes deep. What do they got? It was Johnson. In fact, it was Fife that was there, and Johnson off the ground. Couldn't bring it back far enough. Only 1 point is the result. 19 points the margin. As Aspley bring it in quickly, find Reece Toy.
Interesting bit of by-play just behind the play while we were calling that Kanga. Connor Stackelberg and Jordan Taylor having a ding-dong at each other behind the play.
Is that an American fast food or something like that?
No,
a ding-dong?
Well, I think it is, actually. Ding-dong battle. They just had a go at push me, pull you, that type of thing. Came off hands. Well done there by Stackelberg again, but he didn't quite pick it up. Turner gave it to Clark. Clark handball over the top. It's going to end up with Reeves in the middle of the ground. Steps right, then left, and the outside of the shoe. No left foot, obviously, on Reeves. Ball spills, towed forward by Dale. Letting it bounce, and letting it bounce too far was Watson. Went straight past him, picked up by Gross. He's tackled by Watson into the ground, and we'll get a ball up 40 metres from
40 metres from the action.
From the goal line, as I just kicked a little bit of technology over.
And Spencer goes down. And the ball off the ground. And we have only a point is the result there. So 18 points now the margin. Allen goes wide, finds Blake Nellis. So Nellis at half back. Little worm burner finds Toik. And Toik goes wide and finds Ben Warren at half back, who in turn goes even wider and finds James Ives. Oh. And it's a mark paid as the ball was chipped back into Ben Warren at halfback.
So Warren goes back inside defensive 50. He's going to hit Jackson Allen now. He's got a man out here in Gross. Gross in front of the commentary wing, chased by Fife. Kicks it inside 50. How's that for a kick? Did not have to change stride. Beautiful kick. Nice mark taken by Connor Stackelberg. What's he going to do with the ball? He's got plenty of players in front of him inside attacking 50. Oh, it's a low kick to a dangerous spot. It's well read by the Southport defence. Boston, handball off now to Reeves. Having another bounce to Clayton. Clayton's got very little go-to, nothing in fact at all. So he just kicks a 60-metre barrel inside 50 to the only possible option in Hancock. Could have been paid the mark, nothing happening.
How was that not a mark?
That's why I'm looking at you and went silent for about 2 seconds. It was, it looked like it could have been paid a mark. But the umpire in Sam Ward's a little closer than we are.
I just wonder whether it was touched off the boot, perhaps, the Clayton one. So Turner goes off the ground. Which way is this going to bounce?
Jeez.
Not to the correct side required for Southport, at least. So Southport are pressing. They've had the last 4 shots at goal now. And they've only been able to narrow the margin through one major to 17 points.
So 4 goals 10 Southport, 7 goals 9. It's just indicative of the defensive pressure that both sides have been banging on here at Graham Road. Jackson Allen kicks out wide and finds Spencer, who's probably the most influential player on the ground. It's a long kick to the outer wing. Clark away from Swallow. Roving Payne. Look at the MVP go as he extracts the ball, but then again, the dreadlock destroyer in Dale dives all over him. And it will be a ball up on the outer side.
You're loving it, aren't you? The matchup between the Dreadlock Dynamo as Boston just gets away from the contact or the contest, and he's contacted heavily by Swallow. And free kick for holding the ball. So well done to Andrew Swallow. I thought Boston was going to wrestle his way clear.
There is a couple of matchups that are salivating as far as Swallow versus Boston, Payne versus Dale. Loving the midfield battle.
Well on there, nice mark there to Wilkinson. Just chips the ball inboard to Clayton. Almost at the centre square. Goes deep. One-on-one contest. Stanley and also Hancock it was. The ball spills to the back. Clements lays the tackle. Spinning out of trouble there and picking it up was Hancock. Shoots the goal. That is not a bad effort. He turns around and gives the flex.
Not bad if you got the guns to do it. Hancock, he did give the flex too. It was like putting in the big ones. I've just finished doing 3 reps of 15 of very heavy ones. And have a go at that. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff from Hancock. Well called, Kango. It's 11 points the margin. 7-9-51 plays 5-10-40. The Sharks are coming. 16 minutes gone, third quarter.
Well, again, they've just really started to put a little bit of the clamps in, finding a better system to go forward. They've had to bomb it, but as soon as it's been able to hit the ground, that's where the smalls of Southport have been able to start taking a little bit more control. Hancock, he's looked dangerous. He probably should have been paid a mark a bit earlier, but then he's put one on the board just then.
Made him pay. Swallow taken to ground by Dale. Could have got a free kick himself for not having the ball. Turns around and asks umpire Andrew Adair, why wasn't that the case? Andrew Adair says, because I didn't say so. Throws it up. Turner slaps it out to Payne. In front of Dale again. Love this battle. Payne affects the tackle. Spills the ball. Now it's Chadwick. Giving it back to Mutu. Mutu chips it forward. Right against the boundary line. We'll get another throw in as escorting it over the boundary line there. Was again Mutu. Right in front of the tower. Over the other side of Graham Road here. It's a beautiful day for footy. It's only 21 degrees and no breeze at all. It lands at the foot of Swallow through traffic, gets it out. Stanley inside 50. Clark's favoured by this, read it nicely and took the defensive mark for Southport.
They can transfer the ball to this commentary side of the ground. Davis just gets his kick away. Taylor just clasps it in the second chance. Right to Turner, almost at centre-half forward. Has his kick smothered by Spencer and then just reels it in, bit of basketball style. Gets it back. Now the kick is touched from O'Shea off the boot. The ball quickly from Clements. Clements just to the near side. Not the quick handball, did he?
Oh, what
from
about
Wilkinson?
What about the drop punt on the left foot straight instead of the curling 20-metre grubber? Again, I don't want to get all Dunstall about it, but there's certain times when a nice 20-metre drop punt is the answer because it's going to go through the goals.
Yeah, that's right. As Ives has the ball at half-back.
So James Ives, he has a bit of a false start, then chipping past to Giles. Manteed over the back, read it nicely, took the mark. No, it was not far enough. Manteed kicks it inside 50.
Here's the man Hancock again.
Yeah, he's going to put his stamp on this game. Is Hancock, don't worry about that. 45-degree angle. He kicks this from 45. He's got the journey. Now, if he puts this one through, it's going to drag Southport back within 4 points. We can see what they can do when they're placed in a tight situation and they need to grind out a win. They've done it a couple of times the last few weeks. What can they do here? Hancock starts right. That's a nice-looking kick. Just scrapes the outside of the right goalpost. So that's 5-12-42. Aspley have only scored the one behind in this quarter. We played 19 of the third, and Southport have kicked 2 goals 5.
Yeah, 2 goals 5. So they will rue some missed opportunities here as Gross has the ball in his back pocket. He'll decide to come back across the goal. That is not a good kick, and he kicks it through the goalpost, but it can only be a behind because He was the one that kicked it through for the opposition.
Got a touch of the Mel Michaels about it. Remember that one?
Yes, I do.
He just
he put a big barrel through
from
up
40.
into the second tier of the stand, though,
rushed
didn't
it
he?
behind from 40 metres.
So Jackson Allen plays onto himself and goes long. Jordan Taylor will come through. That's a nice mark, albeit over a midget. Jordan Hayden, sorry for the slur there, but it wasn't the smartest kick going in the favour of Taylor. Coming through was Wilkinson, lays the tackle, but Henry Joyce does well. Stands in the tackle. Jackson Allen gets it into the path of his player, who in turn gets it out towards the big fella in Preval, and the ball will be helped over the boundary line. And I do apologise, I shouldn't have called him a midget.
He's small.
He's small.
Diminutive.
Petite.
A throw in. Out of side. El Mucho gets the ball back, the 1-2 from Charlesworth, and overcooks the kick. So Aspley having the middle through Craven. Back to Nellis, back to Warren. Warren's going to measure a pass to half forward. They need this one, Aspley. Southport have been pressing. Connor Stackelberg at left half forward. He's going to kick it long inside 50. Big fly at the back. Giles. Henry Joyce can't control it. Boston can. Gets it. Off. Great little handball to Charlesworth. They should be out of here through Ruse. Measures a kick to Clements. So nicely played in defensive area. Clements to Mutu. And again, steady coming out. Aspley have just sort of slowed down a little in this quarter. And Southport have slowed down some of their play, keeping possession. Getting it down there is Gavin Gross. His experience in the big telescopic arms takes a great mark, does Gavin Gross. Takes it back to Lonnie Hampton.
So Hampton will go to the outer side, out towards Swallow. Bearing down on him is Brodie Murdoch. Can't get there in time. So Swallow goes down the line, finds Beardsall. So Beardsall made good ground to get on the end of that ball, right on true centre wing, outer side. In turn, goes down the line, finds Giles. So Giles, load up inside forward 50. Preval was there, only got the one mid up. Charlesworth combines with Clayton. Clayton goes long, 1-on-1 contest. It was Clements, and also there was Gowers. Gowers, in fact, it was Clements who follows up with a good tackle, and then the ball's tied up under a few, and it is Jordan Hayden, the man from Glenorchy, who is tackled, and the ball will be balled up on that outer wing.
18 scoring shots to 16 in favour of Southport, yet they trail by 8 points in the middle of the ground. Ben Warren for Aspley. The handball off to Lonnie Hampton. He's got Giles working for him towards the commentary wing. It bounces into his arms. He goes left then right. Sucks his man in Davis, then gives the handball back to Hampton. It worked out okay. Hampton chips it forward. At the feet of Craven. He gets it back. Giles, tackled by Baxter. How he got rid of that one, don't know. Baxter doubles up, the left foot. It's Hancock, and beautifully done there by Arnold. Just got the fist in, enough to take it over the boundary line. 45 metres out, and it's right in front of the scoreboard, which reads 8 points the margin in favour of Aspley after 23 minutes. 7-9, 51 to 5, 13-43.
Well, they really have been pressing Southport. A little bit of frustration in the Aspley box beside us. Just worked off the ruck contest was Gavin Gross. He win the free kick that goes against Josh Baxter. Gives it to Hampton quickly. The run, the carry, dangerous kick, just gets to Henry Joyce. It's the outer side. And Aspley, they can build from this defence. They like the run, but again, some of the skills just starting to come undone for them. Clements gets onto it for Southport. Then to Fife. Fife sits it up and gives it to Hancock. So they will rue some of these poor skill errors, which are giving Southport a bit of a chance and a run along here. And they can narrow the margin to 2 with a good kick by Wade Hancock.
They were out, Aspley. They were absolutely out. Again, a skill error, as you said, can get turnover, and you can't have the ball in hands of a bloke like this. Wade Hancock, 23 goals for the year. He's got one today. Should be able to do this one.
So we line up and try and bring it around, and flips it to the near side. So 1 point Results 7 points now the margin with Lonnie Hampton to bring it back in.
But this is what affected Southport last week. They were lucky to get over the Brisbane Lions by 2 points. They kicked 2 goals 9 in the first quarter, ended up with about 3 goals 13. Now they've turned it over again here, Aspley. It's going to come in via Roos. It's a long kick. Really long, really wide. Out of bounds on the full. 51 plays 44. Aspley lead it. 24 and a half gone. Third term as Hampton is going to bring the ball back in beside the point post.
So he's looking to the outer side. And he goes there now. Long, looking for the target. Jake Spencer's the man. Oh. It gets to the back of the pack. So Ives gets on it. Now to Nellis. Nellis feeds the ball. Nice handball. Finds Payne. Payne over the back. Plenty of room out the back for Connor Stackelberg. He runs in and kicks a goal. The fast break football comes off for Aspley. Southport will rue some missed opportunities, and Southport have made them pay up the other end.
Well, Kanga, 2 goals 7 to Southport and 1 goal 1 for Aspley. That was just after a run of 4 consecutive behinds and shots and attempts and out of bounds on the fall. Aspley, bang, bang. And guess who delivered the ball into the arms of Connell Stackelberg?
Tell me.
The double MVP in Matt Payne, the accumulator. He saw somebody inside 50, drilled it 50 metres. There was no way known that Stackelberg could mark that up. Great stuff. And the accumulator gets away from Dale again.
Ball again in. Here he is, Matthew Payne, working hard over the top of the ball. Swallows there as well. Also Reece Toy. And the umpire calls a halt to proceedings and says, give it to me. And Lee Dale gets up with it. Spencer and Turner will go at it again. Spencer gets it down. Fresh air shot there from Toy. Boston gets on the end of it. Hancock just hits it over the back. Baxter can run onto it. Johnson just couldn't handle it. Jackson Allen just kicks it off the ground. It'll stay in. So Jasper Craven's the first one there. Gets up, gets around an opponent. Spencer gives it back to Craven. And they've got open space here. He can feed it off to Toy. Has one even wider in Henry Joyce. He's got space. He gives it over the top. Batchelor's there. He stops, he props. Clark applies the pressure and goes across. And Blake Nellis, under good courage, takes the mark. There was heavy contact there from Manteet, but Blake Nellis stood firm.
Just that goal, you can see it just lifted Aspley. A couple of great efforts there, sucking the defence in, handballs over the top, and what courage from Blake Nellis there.
He's kicked one. This one's a little easier than the last, and he makes no mistake. And Blake Nellis, that's his second for the afternoon. The boy from Bell Park down in Victoria. And the margin all of a sudden re-established out to 19 points. And we have played 27 plus minutes in this third quarter.
So 19 points the margin, late third term. And you've got Southport who've had one more scoring shot than Aspley, 19-18. Some really good stats there as far as the individuals go. Andrew Boston is still going very well for Southport Kanga. He's got 20-odd disposals now.
23 there. Roos has had 19 and Clayton 18 for Southport, while Jackson Allen and Andrew Swallow have had 22 apiece, while Ben Warren and Reece Toy have had 19, while Matty Payne is sitting on 14 disposals.
Umpire Ritchie in the middle of the ground. In the middle of the centre circles, the crop circles, looks like the front cover of a Led Zeppelin album, slapped down by Spencer into the path of Swallow. And you can hear the applause from the Aspley bench as they come onto the field. At three-quarter time, they arrested that big run by Southport and got back the ascendancy. Aspley 9-9-63 to Southport 5-14-44. 19 points the margin after they led by 25 at half-time and 6 points at quarter-time. We'll be back with what should be a ripping final quarter of NEFL TV very shortly. Welcome back to Graham Road at Aspley for NEFL round 15. It's Aspley at home to Southport and first place versus fifth place. And what we've got here is a tight game, but we've got Aspley leading it by 19 points at three-quarter time after they led by 25 at half-time and 6 at quarter time. It's Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. Kanga, Southport had a big run in that quarter. Aspley just arrested that slide with 2 quick goals by the end of the quarter. Do you think the Hornets have done enough to get over the line?
I wouldn't say done enough just yet. I mean, they deserve to be in front. Although that third quarter could have been, we could have been here talking about a Southport lead. I think such was their dominance at different points in time, and there was 2 late goals within the last 3 or 4 minutes that re-established the lead for Aspley, because otherwise we could have been going in 7 points to margin.
Your goal scorers, Ben Warren, Blake Nellis have got 2 each for Aspley. Allen, Stackelberg, Gross, Spencer and Payne for Southport. Wilkinson's got 2, Boston, Johnson and Hancock. As we start the final term is Mark Kennedy. And don't you hate that? You time it beautifully. And then you get the bounce at right angles, and it ruins the theatre.
It's an anti-climax.
Oh, dear.
And we're underway this time, though, because he throws it up in the air. No real clear winner. Lee Dale gets the handball away. Clayton off 1 step. Doesn't get it far. Impact in the contest there was Fife, and that was Jackson Allen involved there. Turner, he'll look to get on his left foot. He does that now to centre-half forward. Gross, it was touched off the boot, so play on is the call. Mutu gets around one. He gets it out to Tyler Roos. Tyler Roos, I think he was looking for Hancock to come to that near side, and that was just a little bit careless to give a free kick away. And Aspley will be the beneficiaries here.
That's like one of the greatest examples. If you put push in the back in the dictionary, there's a picture of that.
Yes. And it was Batchelor had the ball. That's it out to Hayden. Hayden goes wider. Jackson Allen picked up nicely there by Gavin Gross. The kick doesn't hit its target, so Henry Joyce does a 360, ends up cuffing the ball up. Turner, he does a 360 as well.
Great
but
tackle.
Jake Spencer, that is a ripping tackle. You'd suggest he's in amongst the best of them this afternoon, Michael Price.
You would have thought so. That's 112 kilos that he just swung around ragdoll style as Spencer goes long towards half forward. Southport with the numbers here, beautifully tapped on there by Toy into the path of Giles. He wheels back around onto the right, then kicks it to the top of the square. Preval through his hands. Southport should be able to come out here. That could have been a free kick too to Preval. He was taken under the ball. Ball stuck underneath several, and we'll have another ball up.
I'm going to correct you there because it was John O. Freeman there.
Was it really?
Yep.
Number 43?
No double pane of glass there.
Number 43.
No.
That one there.
It was Freeman.
No, that one right there, number 43.
He was there too.
I know it was Freeman. I can't lose an argument against Kangi. You know that.
No, that's right. And don't forget it. And that was Davis. Gets the ball out. Ben Warren had on his fingertips there.
Well, regardless, it was a good bit of play by Southport's defence. They desperately need to get this one out of here and get inside their forward area, Kanga. It's been a very difficult thing for them to do all game.
Spencer, uncontested really, because Turner was only there making up the numbers, didn't impact it. But Southport might come away with it. Boston, now to Roos. Crucial contest, Baxter, but the big fist of Gross is right there. Swallow just pats it to himself just to try and keep control, puts it in the path of Warren, and Warren is happy to take it out.
And they'd be happy to just hold on to this lead too, Aspley. They do want to extend it. 3 minutes gone, final term. They're leading by 19. They just keep Southport out of it for this early part of the final term, put the scoreboard pressure back on them as Spencer works his way to the front. Payne versus Dale, great battle. Got the handball away. It's going to end up through Ives. Now Spencer. Spencer, the big unit, kicks it over the head of Freeman. Blake Nellis at the foot of the pack, picks it up, shoots the handball out. Now Preval can't quite hold on to it. It's kicked out of there. The Southport defence, Ben Warren, and a big fist over the top came from Sean Watson. Took the ball over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in just forward of centre wing for Aspley. They're leading by 19 points, nearly 4 minutes gone. Final term on NEFL TV through Bar TV.
I still think this game's on the line. It could open up just yet, so any goal Aspley can kick will be a very vital one and take them a fair bit further forward. Turner went off the ground. Hampton, I think he's been good off half-back. It just eludes a couple. Gives it to Swallow, another man who's been pretty good this afternoon. Kick is a little bit dicey because it was in the middle of Graham Road. Well done there by Wilkinson. Ends up with Ruse. Ruse, the short one. Gets it out to Taylor. Jordan Taylor, just backward a centre, can go to the run of Clark.
Clark down the outer side of the ground. Left foot inside 50. Big wrestling effort front and centre. Chadwick, last week's hero for Southport, kicked a goal in the last minute or so and got a bit of push in the back there. He won the free kick last week in the last couple of minutes for high contact and then drilled it from a very similar spot just onto the left, but he's got another chance now to put Southport back in it.
Did you notice Andrew Boston just ran around the back looking for that nice little handball to unload one? He said, no. I've got short memory from last week. I've got this.
I've got this covered, he said. So Brandon Chadwick from the central Queensland coast through Broadbeach. Sinks his boot into it from 45. It's just going to pop short. Big fly! Is that Sean Watson who's taken that mark?
Yes, it
certainly is. There's a fella who's travelled around. He's second year at Southport. His first game for the year. He goes back and goes bang! And that brings the Sharks back into it. 13 points, 9-9-63, plays 6-14-50. We've played 5.5 of the final term, Neefle TV.
Well, you felt at times in that third quarter that Aspley started to feel the pressure that Southport was starting to bring. And I think with that first goal of this last quarter, it's going to be very interesting to see what effect this has on Aspley. Whether they're going to tighten up a little in the way that they're going to bring the ball forward, or are we going to see Aspley really sort of go on the attack and take the game on to try and win it rather than defend it?
Well, we know that Southport will not deviate from that desperation style that's got them over the line in some really close games so far this year, Kanga. They're only 13 points out of this early doors.
The bounce. Oh, the umpire will bring that one back too. So a little anticlimactic once again.
It's one of the hardest skills in football, you know, that bouncing the footy.
Oh, I'd have to agree with that.
I hit myself in the face doing it once.
It's having a look at you, it's not surprising. As tucked up under plenty of bodies, we'll go again.
A lot of verbal from the Aspley bench. They're very keen on this, getting instructions out to the players.
And a bit of verbal from Kennedy to Price in the commentary box as well. Swallow at half forward now. Chips the ball up, looking for the leading Freeman, but only finds Ryan Davis. Goes quickly out to the outer wing. Manteet looking for the lead of Watson. He's got a little bit of confidence all of a sudden. The big fella handballs it off to Clayton. A little bit of run. Gives it out wider. Manteet, a short little kick, finds Hancock, who picked it up nicely off his bootlaces, chips it across. Clements comes in. He's absolutely poleaxed. Picking it up now is Mutu, goes around the corner. Watson's got it on the goal line. And Clements is still down at the top of the goal square.
What a collision, what commitment to the footy from both players, from all players involved there. Well done, Clements.
So Watson goes around and kicks another one. It's 2 for him in quick succession. And what about the courage of the little man in Rob Clements?
He's only 168 centimetres and 71 Ks. So he's not the biggest bloke in the world, but boy, did he put himself in the right spot. Great defensive effort there from Aspley. They were both up to the challenge, both clubs, both sets of players. But we've got a live one here at Graham Road. 7 points the margin, 8 gone final term. Aspley still holding on.
And it just makes you wonder, I suppose, the psyche of the player. We saw Sean Watson take that nice pack grab just before. All of a sudden, on the lead, he's out there, out on that half-forward flank, takes it, and then pushes back hard, takes the mark on the goal square. Confidence.
It's a beautiful thing. If you could bottle it, you'd be an absolute billionaire. Umpire in the middle, Brett Ritchie, bangs it down, beautiful bounce. Spencer hooks it back over his shoulder. Clayton put his toe in where he might have actually put his melon, but Manteet gets the ball punched away by Craven. Reading it beautifully, Davis went through traffic, chips it forward. Mutu. He's got it. Left foot. Now it comes out to Mutu. It was Noah Corbett before. Mutu chips it forward. Oh, it's a mark that should have been taken there by O'Shea, but he does well. Dedacked and still got the handball away. Turner, party trick from the big man, and then smother from Ives off his hands. And a throw in there. So you can just see the effort coming from all players. It's been a game of attrition, very defensive game, a lot of hard running and physicality. You can see it just starting to add up now in the middle of the last quarter.
It's been intense, there's no doubt about it. Spencer and Turner give it to the former. Ives runs onto it, skirts the boundary line, goes more in hit and hope. Murdoch can kill it and does so. Blake Nellis didn't even see where the ball was coming in, so it's a bit hard for him to catch it, unless he was going to catch it on the back of his head.
Very difficult.
Yes. Out of bounds, we'll have a throw in, half forward flank, commentary side of the ground.
You can just see it. The arm wrestle continues here at Graham Road. Jake Spencer, who for mine is BOG, slapped it down and then roved it himself, gets his own clearance, handball out to Payne, who broke away from Dale. He gave it off to Gowers. Gowers inside 50. Blake Nellis, handball to Craven, tackled to the ground. He loses the ball. Southport are out. Taylor, handball to Fife. Fife looking for Baxter. Well, with the flight of the ball, Gross couldn't quite take it. Baxter, handball over the top. Wilkinson, we know he loves a goal, and he's going to dribble it through. You're not going to kick a goal dribbling it from 30. For goodness sake. Touch of the Dunstals there, but that was there for the finishing. It deserved a drop punt. Kanga.
Yes, it did. So Hampton, I'm not sure what you can say about it other than that wasn't the best effort under the circumstances that you could see. Hampton goes down the line. Would that be a crucial error towards the end of this game? Boston gets back on the ball. Nice handball. Finds O'Shea. Goes further afield to Murdoch. Has a man there in Clark. They can go, in fact it was Reeves, to the outer side. Can go off to Ruse, as we see Gavin Gross coming off the ground there, Pricey.
I was just going to say, Kanga, big problem for Aspley now is that one of their influential leaders, Gavin Gross, coming off the field under the hands of the trainers. It's kicked inside 50 for Southport. There's no Gross there, but they get it out through Stanley. Stanley chips it forward. What can Aspley do? Craven. He's in the middle of the ground, called to play on. Chadwick nailed him. Umpire says
He'll
pull it up.
If it was play on, he was gone for all money. I'm not sure why Andrew Adair would dare rule a ball up there.
Oh, beautifully played. I saw what you did there, Kanga. He threw it up dead. Spencer. Toy. Tackled. Loses the ball. Could have been pinged for throwing, but nothing happening. Boy, the physical nature of this game as Davis goes in hard. Gowers as well. Very tough in the clinches. Tough game to umpire as well as on the outer side. We'll get another ball up.
Interesting little matchup there. Michael Manteet's gone to Ben Warren, so just trying to negate his influence on the game. He's been good as Davis comes through and just fooled himself trying to do it, and then he tripped his opponent. And advantage is not paid, so the ball will come back and it will go to player there in Blake Nellis. He just chips the ball a little wider. And to Craven. Out wider again. Finds Giles. Giles can load up inside forward 50. The big spoil came from Clark at the back, but it falls the way of Aspley there. But it was just probably just spent it too quickly there, did Stackelberg. Had a little bit more time to work the ball. Took better towards goal.
Agree with you there, Kanga. Again, that's just the inferred pressure. And Wilkinson, before coming in to the 30 metres out directly in front, the inferred pressure. He went the outside of the shoe. Same thing with Stackelberg. He had more time than he thought he did as the ball goes down the outer side of the ground. Davis now. He's going to get the 1-2 handball off. He's going to kick it inside 50. Will it bounce for Wilkinson? It does. He curls it back in. Wheels around onto the right. And kicks the goal for Southport. And they are within a point. 9-10-64 plays 8-15-63. Aspley holding on by that single margin. 13.5 gone final quarter, and Wilkinson did the right thing there, Kanga. He's a goal sneak.
Well, it has to make up for that last one, doesn't he? But, I mean, at the end of the day, what we're seeing is a little bit of poise, and Southport are on top of the ladder for a good reason. They've been able to withstand a lot of challenges this year, and Aspley have thrown down the gauntlet many times this afternoon, and it's taken to this last quarter to really push it back into a winnable contest for Southport. They've kept at it all afternoon.
Well, since half-time, Southport have kicked 5 goals, 9 to Aspley's 2 goals, 1. Had they have kicked straight, like we've been saying to them for a little while, things could have been a lot different.
Ball in the middle again. Spencer, the bounce favoured him. Well done there by Boston, just influenced Swallow. Dale gets it to half forward, punched away from Hancock. Johnson just kicked the up and under on the left. Attacking it there was Watson. In fact, it was Baxter. He goes again, just taps it out to Johnson. Wasn't taken high, it was appeal for that. Henderson just clears the ball. They'll reload here. Southport will end up with Clark. Clark puts it down deep. 2-on-2 contest. The big spoil there came from Jackson Allen, who just put the left mitt up, clenched it, and went whack, put it out of bounds.
Just the 1 point for Aspley in this final term. 15 minutes gone of it. Southport have scored 3 goals, 2 to press to within a point. It's in their forward 50, the Sharks. Boston! Kicks it short, taken on the line, touched through, one behind. Scores are level. 64 apiece, 15 and a bit gone of the final term on Neefle TV. We've got another cracker here, Mark Kennedy.
That we do. Jackson Allen kicks into himself, kicks it long towards a commentary position on the wing, near the boundary line. In fact, it's over the boundary line, and it was Clark. And they've just really started to seize the momentum, Southport.
Yeah, they're looking like a side that's won 9 and lost 2. Just really putting their intent on the game. Spencer slaps it down in the path of Fife. He can't quite control it. Craven can't either. Fife back in there. Craven battling away. Coming out of it was actually Reece Toy underneath all of that.
And this is the time that we're looking for Matt Payne, isn't it? He's just that type of player.
Needs to break it open. He's got Lee Dale all over him. Enter Matt Payne, tackled by Dale Kanga. So we got both of them in there. James Ives, handball to Swallow, tackled into the turf by Dylan Fife. Right in front of the interchange gates here, in front of the Neefle TV commentary box. The former North Melbourne captain gets up, gives the ball back to the umpires.
So Boston, Roos and Clayton lead the tackle count, 25, 23 and 22 respectively. Allen and Swallow with 25 apiece, with Warren 20. Ball back into play. Turner took front spot there. Boston will end up with it. He just gets his foot to it. The tackle, it came from Ives, and Boston looks a little bit sore. Mutu lays the tackle. Be a bit of groin soreness in there. And a little bit of a rest as he limps straight to the interchange bench. I think he might be all right. Just a little bit of an extra exertion. Dale just ricocheted off his hand, fell to Warren. Warren to half forward. Clark's there. Gets over the back of him, but he'll get back on it quickly. Just gets that left foot on it. They've got the numbers here. Aspley, Beardsall goes to ground. Gets it quickly off to Stackelberg. He is taken out of the play. Clayton, Roos, Ives lays the tackle. Charles Worth, Manteet. Now back to Clark. He just puts the left foot on it. Ricochets, is well smothered. He gets it again. He gets a clear kick away this time. Right to forward 50. No clear winner. Johnson puts it in the path. It's a foot race. Who's going to get there first? Henderson's there. It eludes him. Johnson gets back on it again. It swings around for a point. Southport in front. I was looking for the big crescendo there. That was fantastic there from Mitch Johnson. Great play in front of us. But Southport, importantly, in front as Jackson Allen brings the ball back into play.
It's a long kick. Oh, Clark at the back. Read it beautifully, Reece Clark. Plays on, kicks at the centre half forward, finds Tyler Roos. He had an option on, but he's clever enough to hold up. Davis was being held up by Blake Nellis. Takes it out to the outer side and finds Reeves. They'll be content to hold on to the ball until they can find a clear option. That's the way they go about it, Southport. It's a long kick. Inside 50, pack of players, front and centre. Hancock gets it in the air. Baxter slaps it down. Roving! Goal! Southport! Couldn't quite pick up the player there.
I reckon it
might have been Wilkinson again.
I reckon I agree. It's Wilkinson.
Mate, he flashed through. It was almost like that vapour trail. As something came through. Kicked the goal, and Southport are in front by 7 points in the blink of an eye. 9-17-71 plays 9-10-64. We've played 19 minutes of the final term here on Neefle TV. Wilkinson with 4 goals.
Well, 6-10 in the second half to 2 goals, 2. Southport's way. An avalanche is coming. And there's still plenty of time for Aspley. They just need to regroup, settle. It's not over yet by any stretch. Boston back on the field. And he's wrapped up immediately in the contest. Spencer got the hit out. And that goes to 51 hit-outs for Jake Spencer this afternoon so far.
He's had a dominant game.
56-14. There's another one. Oh, it's kick smothered though. Joyce runs onto it for Aspley. Roos it high. Right to the forward 50. Goes to the back. Payne overruns it. Dale is hot pursuit there. Payne looks a little bit hurt there. Payne is in exactly that.
Got a knock to the knee there, Kanga.
He did. So the ball to half forward. Baxter couldn't quite take it. Just bursting through was Jordan Arnold. And now to Jake Spencer. I want to call him Max Spencer all the time. I don't know why. It's Jake Spencer.
Long kick to inside 50. Payne at the back of the pack. Jono Freeman just got the big arms up over the top and can put Aspley back within a point in an important kick for Jono Freeman. 24 goals, 13 for the year. Hasn't kicked one today. We'll ride this one home behind him with the cameras of Bar TV through Neefle TV. Jono Freeman. He'll sink his boot in from around 45. Does so. Put it through. 1 point the margin, Aspley. Trailing Southport, 21 gone, final term. Neefle TV with another cracker for round 15.
Well, he hasn't had a big influence on the game, has Jono Freeman. Just the 2 behinds before that, and the 6 disposals. So a crucial goal, putting it back to a point the difference. 21 minutes gone this last quarter. Pricey, what's your call on this one?
Oh, it's a flip of a coin. Southport, for mine personally, have dealt with this situation, and I saw them firsthand deal with it last week against the Brisbane Lions, where they kicked erratically, but they still held on. They will do enough. They are a desperate football side with a lot of intent. Umpire Adair bangs it down in the middle. It was Spencer. Got it down there. Taken by Giles, taken into the ground in the centre circle of the centre circles. It's only 1 point the margin. Kanga, how do you see it?
I think Southport a little bit more polished in terms of finishing ability in this situation so far this year. I'm with you.
As Andrew Boston tackles his opponent in William Gowers, former Swans Academy member, holds the ball up. Spencer again with his umpteenth hit out. If they go down today, Aspley, it will be completely and utterly no fault of Jake Spencer, who's been monumental. James Ives gets a free kick for illegal contact. Now the Hornets with a chance. He kicks a high ball inside 50. Beautiful defensive mark. The young man in Daniel Charlesworth just read it nicely. They had the numbers there, Southport. They were always advantaged by that kick, Kanga.
Yeah, they were. Charlesworth puts it right in front of us. Mutu went high. Ives was right there. Came off hands over the boundary lines. All over throw in. Right in front of where the Aspley coaches box are. And the directions would be coming thick and fast. Gavin Gross is all taped up. He's ready down here. And we'll just see if he's going to actually come back on the ground. Be very important if he can.
Some class on the bench there with Gross and Swallow as well.
That's right. Off the ground there was Spencer. Gowers wrapped up by Boston.
Just having a look at it.
Boston just helped up off the ground.
26 disposals for El Mucho, 25 for Jackson Allen and Andrew Swallow for Aspley.
Toy went off the ground there. Mid-T. Lost it. Ives under pressure from Clayton. The ball got forward to just around that 50-metre arc, and coming out there was Preval and also Clark all over the boundary line. Yeah,
you see Reece Toy just battling to get up at the moment. Just copped one in the left calf.
Well, he threw his leg at the ball, and I think anybody coming the other way, it was going to be fair old impact. Spencer In the path of Swallow. Got it. Around the corner it goes. And coming out there is the big boy in Freeman.
Andrew Swallow then, under enormous pressure, dropped it in front of the big man. Jono Freeman didn't have to do much at all apart from reach out and grab the ball, but Andrew Swallow hard pressed against the boundary line. That's great leadership. Dropped it onto the chest of Freeman.
Not too dissimilar kick from the last one. Jono Freeman comes in, starts it right, and it stays right. Scores level yet again. Could we have our first draw of season 2018 in the Neville?
Well, there is a possibility. 25 or 24 and a half minutes gone, a final term. 71 points apiece as we see a Reece Toy just below us here in the Neville commentary box in an enormous amount of pain. Oh, great mark taken there by Watson, who chipped in with two very important goals in this final term. He chips it long down the line. Uncontested there was Jed Turner. Turner now. Left footer. And this is going to advantage Aspley. Oh, big fly there from Henderson. Actually brought the ball to ground in favour of Clements. And then Henry Joyce tackles Clements into the ground right on the 50-metre arc. We'll get another ball up.
So Spencer threw his hand at it. Missed everything. And plenty of players around the contest do it all again right on that 50-metre arc. Tense times ahead.
Just over 25 minutes gone, final term. Scores are level at 71 apiece after Aspley have bled basically all day.
Umpire asked the two ruckmen to separate. They lock up again with the ball in the air. Spills out. Who's going to get there first? The Swallow just feeds the ball out. The run of Stanley in the path of Payne. Roos in hot pursuit. Payne feeds the ball out brilliantly. Gets it to Gowers. Half forward, but nobody home. And it is Clark there, gets it out to Reeves on the outer side, half back.
Matthew Payne with a bit of cramp there, but just the class of Andrew Swallow. He's done a couple of really important things in the last couple of minutes. Got Aspley in a position to run that ball through. Just the turnover at the end. Southport know if they retain the ball, they've got their plan. This is the way they want to do it. Jed Turner slaps it down. Wilkinson tries to go off the deck. Big Turner tries as well. Oh, handball through the traffic to Wilkinson, who goes in and misses another one from point blank range. He could have had 6 dead straight goals, but they're in front by a point, Southport. 72 plays 71 as Aspley boomed the ball back in.
They go straight down the middle. Does it go down the back? No. Good spoil. Goes in the path. Hampton gets around one. Handballs off to Joyce, now to Payne. Payne couldn't handle it, then gets it back again. Gives it off to Ives. He's immediately set upon the ball. Be balled up right in the centre square here at Graham Road. Haven't we got a game on our hands?
Well, Tommy Wilkinson, 4 goals today. He's kicked a couple of beauties, but he's missed 2 dead set sodas, and he'd be feeling crook in the guts at the moment as Payne gets away.
Gets it in the path of Nellis. He taps it up and picks it up now. Little chipping ball in the path of Freeman. 48 metres out. He'd have to kick it from 51, 52 metres, you'd think. And he'll go back and trust his judgment and his skill.
Well, 27 minutes to go. 27 minutes gone, final quarter. Big stat for you, Kanga. Southport have not won at Graham Road, Aspley, for 6 years since round 6, 2012. What's Freeman going to do with this?
Hop, skip and jumps. He kicks it from 53 metres. It's right to the goal line. It's there! Oh. Jono Freeman, 2 last quarter goals. And the lead is seesawed. And Aspley in front by 5 points. We have played 27 and 3/4 minutes of this last quarter. It's been epic.
That is more or less where the last kick of the 2014 grand final occurred.
Clinton French.
And almost the same spot.
Daniel Smith.
Daniel Smith
Sorry.
It was. Clinton French was in the side. I remember that.
He was in the side. The wrong player.
But
Daniel
boy,
Smith.
they're in front here. 5 points the margin. Very late in the final quarter. 28 minutes and 20 gone. Aspley lead it. What can Southport do? Can they respond? Jake Spencer been monumental all day. Slaps it down. Swallow. He can't control it. Davis now Gets back in traffic. Tackled. Could have been pinged, and is. Important tackle there by Billy Beardsall. He kicks it to the outer side. They're just going to steady this down. Gowers. Chipping ball. Clever play from Aspley. Henry Joyce. Back to Ben Warren. 29 minutes gone. Final term. Aspley by 5. Ben Warren, long to half forward. Big fly, comes off Charlesworth. Over the boundary line is where Aspley want to take it, and the experience of Swallow again puts it there. There'll be a throw in at left half forward for the Hornets, leading by 5 points very late.
Well, we tipped Southport to hold on there, didn't we? And Aspley have come back with a vengeance. Ball back into play. Spencer, one arm up. Swallow. He's been incredibly important all day, but none more so. Ruse flips the ball out. Reeves is there. And Ives has the tackle. Also Swallow over the top.
Very happy to hold the ball up, I would dare say here. Loving the game of Andrew Swallow too in the final term too, Kanga.
Ball goes. Payne with the ball. Very nice handball. Gets it off to Beardsall. Slices it off the side of his boot. And well done there.
Charlesworth.
Charlesworth just hits it up, more in hope. And well done there by Clayton.
So Southport need to get a wriggle on here. Clayton now to Murdoch. Murdoch, little chipping pass. Could have done the handball out in front of Watson. He takes the ball in front of the interchange gates, right in front of us here on Neefle TV commentary box. And once again, Kanga, we have an absolute cracking finish. 30 minutes, 30 seconds gone. 5 points the margin. Aspley lead it. We're right on halfway. Spencer over the back, does beautifully, grabs the ball out of the ruck, toes it forward. Freeman gathers nicely. High ball inside 50. Charlesworth at the back, spoiling. Nicely done there by Boston, who just entered the fray. Got the handball back to Clark. Missed it. Tackled by Ives. Ball stuck underneath. Umpire circling. Nothing happening. James Ives holds the ball in. Well done in front of the scoreboard. Aspley leading by 5 points, Kanga. Siren due any second.
Well, could this be a season-changing or defining moment for Aspley? Ball just ricocheted out. Forward 50. Payne comes through. Couldn't take it with him. Beardsall's there. Just fakes one. Gets a quick kick away. There is Murdoch. Trying to find a bit of free space. Just says, get out of my way, Ives. And then the spoil from Beardsall is a beauty. Keeps the ball inside that attacking zone.
Couple of crucial things from Billy Beardsall. There's about 15 seconds left of the game. He did a great tackle in the middle there and another smother there, Kanga. He could have won the game for him as Preval gets it down. It's towed forward. Hancock tackled by his opposite number in Stanley. They'll get it out of here, the Sharks. Manteet, handball to Davis. Burst through traffic. Long kick. It's Johnson at the back. It bounces. Wilkinson can't control it. Allen punches it forward. Now Wilkinson. Handball over to Clayton. No, intercepted there by Arnold. He just hacks it out to the outer wing and says, go chase that, Tommy Wilkinson. You can't score from out there. It's a long kick. Time could be up. Oh, Mark. What a ripping grab. Taken under enormous pressure by Chadwick. Now, he did it last week. And he could do it again. He's done. Brandon Chadwick kicked the winning goal for Southport against the Brisbane Lions last week. Simple equation. If he kicks this, they win the game. If he doesn't, it's Aspley. What another ripping finish here on Neefle TV. Two of the great state league sides, Aspley Hornets and Southport Sharks, and Brandon Chadwick. He can't possibly be the hero 2 weeks in a row. He'll have to kick it from outside 50. Here he goes. It's a sky ball. It does not have the distance. Aspley get home by 5 points. Oh, Kanga. They held on the Hornets. Another ripping finish of Neefle footy.
Well, they did all the work in the first half, didn't they? They repelled all the challenges and Southport pressed hard. And it was the last couple of inspired efforts from Aspley 2 goals from Jono Freeman that eventually got them over the line. What about the effort of Jake Spencer and Andrew Swallow particularly, who were enormous amongst others, and little cameos from the likes of Beardsall with a couple of pressure acts to keep the ball in the area and so forth. Amazing game of NEFL football.
Yeah, they did beautifully, Aspley. On their home deck as well, they were pressured. Southport in the final term have kicked 5 goals to Aspley's 2 goals too. So they were coming, Southport. They had all the momentum, but Aspley just arrested it. Jono Freeman asleep for most of the game, as you said. Bobbed up and went bang, bang. Here I am, 2 goals, and that sort of put it out of the reach of the Southport Sharks. It's another ripping game of NEFL footy, Kanga. And as you say, Jake Spencer, Andrew Swallow, I thought in that last quarter was absolutely brilliant. He's had 27 disposals, Swallow, but he had 10 clearances for the game. Absolutely crucial getting that first use of the ball, especially when you had Matthew Payne, even though he was so tightly tagged by Lee Dale, he still had 22 odd touches himself and 7 clearances. So brilliant stuff from Aspley. How would you see it, Kanga? How would Coach John Blair be liking that as he goes back inside?
Well, I mentioned that he almost would have cracked a smile at some stage today, and I think he just about would have got one after the game, because that was a crucial win in the context of their season. They were sitting 5th, and, that's a crucial 4 points for the Hornets, because that really changes where things are at. One
interesting point, we've just had it pointed out to us by an interested spectator, that there is 18-5 in the free kick count for the entire game. So Southport received 5 free kicks for the entire game. I must point out that it was a Southport fan who pointed that out to us as well. But there's nothing in the rule books that said that free kicks have to be even at the end of the game. Perhaps there's a reason why. Perhaps Aspley got in front and attracted some free kicks. But we'll see how that goes. Personally, I think it was a ripping effort from both sides. Southport had their opportunities and blew them in that final term too, Kanga.
Yeah, they certainly did. And whilst the Southport people will be very disappointed that they didn't get the 4 points, I think to a large extent they can look at some of their processes early, and then probably some of their probably bad misses late in the game that have really cost them victory here this afternoon. But all kudos go the way of the Hornets.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to the Aspley Hornets. They've won this round 15 clash over the Southport Sharks by 5 points. 11-77 to 4-18-72. On behalf of the great man Mark Kennedy, I'm Michael Price, and all of the NEFL A team here, including Jess Webster. And we will be back next week with another cracking fixture of NEFL footy on NEFL TV. Have a good one.